Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Good morning! Happy Friday! Football Friday is here. Oh, I love our Fridays, man. My favorite day of the week. I love it. Sunday night, we talked about it on the show a little while ago, about 60 Minutes, and how Sunday night is still, how we used to dread it. And now that there's Sunday night football, it's better. But man, Friday's so much better, because you still have Sunday to look forward to. Oh man. Anyway, we're brought to you by Rite Aid, the Anthony Gargano Show. Don't forget Rite Aid. All your favorite goods. Anything you need, script-wise, vaccine, you got it at Rite Aid. Go to riteaid.com. All right, lots to get to. It's Football Friday, and we know the Eagles. Probably no AJ, no Devonta, and Lane, maybe, right? I think there's a decent chance for Lane. Lane is almost as important. I think more important than anybody. But for one game, getting Lane back is a big deal. I mean, having that right side against the Todd Bowles blitz is a big deal. But I look at this game, and the fact that you beat the Saints last week gives them a bit of a cushion going into the bye. And so I look at this game with not a lot of stress. It's, hey, you get 17 of them, so you want to win as many as you can. But the stress isn't there that you got to win. Now, if they're 1-2 and you're staring down the barrel of 1-3, that's a pressure on you, right? That's a big pressure. But you're not, right? You won last week. That was huge. So I look at this week as, a cushion game. Ultimately, and if you watched Dallas and the Giants last night, ultimately, the Eagles have to win this division. The Cowboys aren't any good. They have no running game. But what we said at the beginning of the year has played out, that they don't have a running back. Dowdle is not a starting lead back. He's not. Elliott's washed. Their best back is the fullback. I mean, they have no running game. It's amazing. And then you look at it, outside of CeeDee Lamb, and again, Cooks is older player, nice player, but outside of him, outside of CD, their weapons are just okay to mediocre. Actually, they're mediocre. Ferguson's okay, decent, nothing to be afraid of. I look at that, and their defense is a little flawed. It's a little overrated. And you saw the run defense the last 2 weeks entering the last night. I mean, that giant, Daniel Jones played well against them. He threw for almost 300 yards against the Cowboys secondary. So what's that tell you? The Cowboys are not good. The Giants are not good. Washington's defense is not good. And, young player, and he did not a lot of tape on Jaden Daniels. I like Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels will be good. But there's no tape on him, right? This is just started. So this is the Eagles division. It would be a colossal disaster, an epic disaster, if the Eagles don't win this division. I just think they do. I think it's pretty clear how the rest of the season, the rhythm, I should say, of this season goes. They could lose Sunday. They're a favorite, a slight favorite, but they could lose, in which case they're 2-2. Let's go with that premise, right? Worst case scenario, 2-2, bye week. Then you come off the bye and you start to get healthy, right? You get AJ back, Devonta back, and all of a sudden your offense is there. Saquon's balling. They should go on a run. They should go on a run and get separation in the division. And this is a mediocre to ragtag division. The Eagles have to win it, and I expect them to win it. Now, Sunday, Brady on the call. And I'm curious to see what the guys think about this. But Tom Brady, and it's funny, when I think about him, without a doubt, right? You know, nobody was as maniacal as Brady except Jordan. Of all the athletes I've covered, I was real young when I just got into the business, and I was covering Jordan when I was in Chicago. And being next to Jordan and watching him practice and all that stuff, he was just on another level. And Brady's the same way. Kobe was like that. So Brady is the GOAT. But it's interesting because he's Fox spends a ton of money on him. He's doesn't have a good personality. Like, the one thing Brady doesn't have, of all his gifts, right? Like, he's maniacal in how he preps and his greatness and how, he stayed in shape with his body. But he's not a personable guy. Like, he doesn't have this, he's not good as the lead analyst. So I'm anxious to see. And the beauty of it all, the Eagles owed him. It was the one thing. Listen, he's the GOAT, but if there's one team that gets under his skin, right, we know it's the Eagles. We know it's Foles. So I'm looking curious. I'm actually looking forward to that storyline and hearing what Brady has to say, because he's really interesting. He's not compelling as a broadcaster, but from his stature as the GOAT, I'm dying to see what he says about the Eagles. And the beauty is Kevin Burkhardt, who is fabulous, the play-by-play guy, lead number one guy for Fox, is from Philadelphia. Kevin's fantastic. And so I'm sure Kevin is going to tweak Tom about the bird. So I'm looking forward to that sort of thing. All right, let's say hello to our people. Good morning, JP John Zapata.
Buenos dias.
Good morning, VG.
Happy Friday!
What do you say, buddy?
Yeah, baby.
Riley's is Greg Caputo.
Even construction in town and closed streets can't get me down today on this football Friday.
Why is it Friday? I just love Friday.
Because tomorrow's Saturday. There's no downer on Saturday. It's a great day, right?
Although I have to work at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Cuz always has busy weekend, so it's not.
And then after that, I have 2 football games.
Yeah,
no baseball
so
this
you should
weekend.
be miserable. You should actually be miserable today.
But I love it. I love Friday.
5 a.m.?
Oh, it's horrible.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
Overcast's not helping either.
Like a root. Yeah.
No, but I'm in a good mood.
Let me say, what's this scene like in your house? You wake up at what time?
I
5?
went 4.
You wake up at 4?
Like 10 after.
You in like
Coffee.
You in underwear, pajama pants, shorts.
You want some serious
You
detail.
wander around. You wander
I
around.
don't do the show in my underwear.
You wander around some sweats, get some coffee,
Yeah.
check the news, and sit down.
I prep the night before.
Do you stay in like sleeping wear while you do the show, or you get changed?
No, sweats.
You wear sweats?
I'm not going to do the show in my underwear.
All right.
You know what I mean?
It's
I'm
just
gonna feel
audio
like-
only, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's audio. So I have a studio in the house, and
Yeah.
I just go into the studio and we do the show, and it's
Are you dog
It's
proof?
a college
kid-proof?
football. It's a college football show, so I got to dive into tonight. I'll dive into college football, and I do some. There's 1 hour of NFL, but the rest of it's all college.
Okay.
So I'll dive into all the college stuff tonight. It's the dogs. I have to let the dogs out.
Yeah, it's a whole
When
thing.
do Ann and Moss come and play in the morning?
So if
Noon.
Anthony plays on Thursday, so we had a game yesterday in Mainland. So he sleeps till 1 o'clock, right?
Oh, that's the life as a kid.
I know,
Right.
man.
Massimo usually has games early. So, but Saturday, I think he's good.
Okay.
So I think we're good. Then afterwards, I'll take him to football. Sometimes Tam has to take him to practice or game.
You make coffee in house? You go out and get a coffee for the
No,
show?
I make coffee.
All right.
I like
How
the
about that
weekend
interesting?
coffee.
I have that in espresso. I love that.
All right.
Yeah. But I love the Friday. Looking forward to the weekend,
Yeah.
right? Like looking forward to Sunday. Like knowing we got Sunday, and next week is a great week because we have Red October.
Yeah.
Right? Red October commences
On a bye week. Perfect timing.
I know.
I know.
Perfect
It's
timing.
awesome, man. I'm so pumped up for it. And listen, the way it's playing out, Padres I put over here because I'm afraid of the Padres.
Yeah.
But the way it's playing out, I like the way it's playing out for the Phillies. Like the Braves pitching is messed up. So if they get in,
Yeah.
they got issues.
I'm not really worried about the Braves or the Mets right now. And I don't want to jinx myself.
I
I'm
know.
knocking on wood, knock on my head, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Even like I was worried about the Diamondbacks like a month ago. I don't feel the same way at this point.
No, I don't. I agree with you. I don't feel. I'm not. The team that's scared. Listen, the Dodgers. I know that their pitching isn't great, isn't set up, but I mean the Padres and Dodgers. I mean that's I think it's heavyweight time.
Yeah.
I think this is a heavyweight year. I don't see the Mets getting hot.
No.
They got garbage pitching.
Garbage
really
pitching.
do.
Their
I mean,
bullpen, other
Sean
than,
Manaea,
other than the closer.
Peterson, right?
Ooh, we're scared.
Manaea has had a good year. But
Severino.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You're supposed to be afraid of those guys. Bleep the Mets.
It'd be impressive if 3 NL East teams are in this playoffs.
I know.
Yeah. And the other one is let's bleep Brady. All right?
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
with that.
So I got to ask you guys a question. All right? Because it's part of the Friday Five. Sorry. So Brady's doing the game.
Boo.
How do we feel about I still hate him. It is funny because of a couple things. One, the Eagles Patriots stuff. That's still there.
Right.
Two, he embodies Boston. Forget the Tampa Fugazi Super Bowl. You called that, Andrew. You said it. Fugazi Super Bowl. He's still embodied. I hear him. I hear the Boston people. Fenway Park and Brady.
Yeah, Tom.
The GOAT. Tommy the GOAT. I still hear it, and I still go, yeah, of everything, all your accomplishments, God bless, you are the GOAT, but you couldn't beat Nick Foles.
You just want to punch someone when you hear that accent.
Right?
I hate
I
it.
think of
It's
Mark
worse
Wahlberg.
than
I don't
the
know
New
why.
York one.
You
It's
hate the New York worse?
No, I'm saying I think of Mark Wahlberg when you think
Oh,
you
yeah,
talk about
yeah,
that Boston
yeah,
accent.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
first thing that came to my mind.
Yes.
Tom
Yeah.
Brady.
Tom Brady.
The Pats.
I can't stand it. It goes back all those years of that. And so here he is. And I got to ask you, he
He
stinks.
stinks.
He stinks. And he's not going to get good. He'll get better, but he's never going to be great because he doesn't have a personality.
Exactly.
And he don't have a goat voice.
No.
It's kind of nasally. And
It is.
It's not like a cool goat voice.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I just want to punch a TV.
I'll be honest
He's
with you.
whiny sounding.
He is.
Yeah.
Belichick has a lot more cool than Brady. It sounds crazy, right? Because you go, well, Brady's younger, got the whole thing. And, well, Belichick's 10 times cooler than Brady.
I think Belichick's got the younger girlfriend, too. At this point, he's got a little swagger.
He does.
Yeah.
Plus, he's got charm. Belichick's got charm.
Yeah, he's a lovable curmudgeon.
Right?
He's kind of funny.
He's witty.
Yeah.
I like his sense of
he
humor.
he can be really interesting.
Exactly.
I mean, Brady's like a hollow, he's a mannequin outside Macy's.
Hasn't had sugar. I mean, his diet's not even human. He's not even like a
God
human
bless
being.
him. I mean, he's maniacal like
Right.
Jordan,
Yeah.
but he's
Jordan
not.
was cool though. Jordan would smoke the cigars. He would gamble. He
Drink
had
beer.
his
MJ
vices. and
listen,
cool.
MJ had a lot of vices.
Brady's
MJ was the
a
best.
nerd.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
And he's smug. He's a smug
He
nerd.
is smug. I agree. I'm completely with you. All right. Couple things. One, Eagles have to win the division. I don't care what anybody says. You watch the Cowboys.
What a dreadful
I was
game.
arguing, speaking of my Saturday show on Fox, my coach, Jason Fitz, used to be at ESPN, now he's at Fox. And we've been arguing about the Cowboys. Oh, the Cowboys that's their division. Oh, the Cowboys, they always doubt Dak, and you're going to bring up the playoffs. I'm like, dude, who's running the football? Who's going to run the football for you? And by the way, look, the receivers aren't very good either outside of CD Lamb.
Exactly. Yeah, and have Dak throw like 50 times. Come on.
And their defense is good. It's not some epic defense.
All
The
right.
Daniel Jones threw for almost 300 yards against them last time.
was
Brady took a
wild.
beating on that under. That
He had
under
under passing yards for Daniel Jones.
smoke. Hey, I'm looking at the schedule. When they meet in like 4 weeks. Eagles, Cowboys, 5 weeks. Cowboys got Steelers coming up, tough game. Detroit, tough game.
They lose that.
Niners, tough game. Falcons, and then the
Dude.
Birds. They got to stretch before
got
we
no
meet.
favorites.
Dude,
over
they
there.
could be.
We could
They
have a
could
two-game
be
lead on them.
beleaguered.
Yes.
They could be limping into that thing.
Right. Eagles got Tampa, Cleveland, who's struggling, Giants,
Wait, go
Bengals.
through it.
Yeah.
What's it? After the bye,
Yeah. Cleveland,
Cleveland stink.
Giants,
Giants stink.
Bengals,
Bengals.
Dumb now.
Jacksonville,
Wow.
and then
dude.
Cowboys.
Wow. That's what I'm
We
saying.
should be cruising into this
Well, that's
Cowboys
why I
game.
said that at the start of the show. Like, I think they go on a run.
Mhm.
Like, they got to go on a run. You look at where they're at, and you get healthy after the bye. Forget all the Sirianni stuff, right? Like, this team offensively is too good. And we know that as long as Jalen Carter and like Fangio's a pro, right? Fangio's a guy that, look, he's not going to expose you. Like Sean Desai was horrible. Like there's still holes in this defense. We understand
sure.
that. Like, you know, they still probably can't get pressure consistently off the edge. Like that's a very real thing. But Fangio could mask it some, right? Like Fangio is from week to week will keep you in the game.
Agreed.
And this offense should soar. At some point, it'll get lift. When A.J. Brown is back, and assuming they're healthy, that's it. That offense should take them, and they should, at some point, pull away and really get separation from the rest of these teams in this division.
Yeah, and not for nothing. Last week, I mean, like it showed you, like Nick Sirianni did everything to kind of lose that game, and yet we still found a way to get the dub. And even this week, like
Who?
Nick Sirianni,
Yeah, and what happened? Who found a way to get the dub?
the Birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Birds come.
That
I mean,
we-
What did he say? Oh,
That's good catch. Good catch. The Birds found a way to get the win. And even when you look at this week, like, come on, this is a winnable game against the Bucs. We talk about getting some sacks. Jalen Carter had a big week. I mean, I can see him continuing that this week. The Bucs O-line is real.
Well, the
7
Bucs D-line,
sacks.
too, is a problem, right?
We've always had a problem with them.
Well, no, the Bucs D-line is banged up. Vita Vea, they got a lot of injuries
Clancy.
along that line. I mean, they struggle stopping the run. You got Barkley. You know what they're going to do. They're going to sell out to try to stop the run.
Exactly.
Right? Like we got Fran Duffy coming up. We're going to go over the matchups, but they're going to sell out to try to stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I mean, look, that Eagles offensive line is such a weapon.
It is.
It's such a weapon.
Should be. I think it's the best in football. This is going to be a real test for Jalen because Bowles has like publicly. Well, you catch him on the hot mic, busting on Jalen.
Yeah.
And Jalen doesn't have great numbers. I was looking. He's got 2 TDs, 3 interceptions, QB rating 65. He struggles. So we'll see if Kellen's fixed him.
Listen, the last 2 playoff games,
Yeah.
right? Last year and then his first year, Todd Bowles had his way about him.
Yep.
No, I mean, listen, Baker was ridiculous in the playoff game. No, this is a revenge spot no matter what. Whether you have A.J. Brown, I'll be honest with you. If Lane plays, no excuses. I know that you're both your starting receivers, but you still have enough to get it done.
The Buccaneers are giving up 138 yards rushing a game.
I know.
I mean, Barkley should have a $150.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
And,
136 last week. They gave up.
no RPO.
No.
Just say no to the RPO.
Get rid of all the options. I don't
Downhill
want any options.
running. Downhill running. That's what we
No
need.
RPOs, no read options, no options at all, please.
Yeah.
All right. I got a couple Friday fives for you.
Okay.
All right. So I want to do this because we got coming up. But Wulf is going to join us. Looking forward to that. We got a big slate. But Brad, Franny to go over the matchups. The Geek, TV Todd. It's a Friday, so we're having fun. JP on the bar, behind the bar.
Well, Black Gritty, maybe.
Oh yeah. What are you making?
So, with obviously the pirate theme, and Florida not really known for much, so we did a Pirates Punch today.
Pirates punch.
Where's our in-house pirate at?
Oh, look
Buccaneer
at that.
Friday. It's a Buccaneer Friday.
Yo, what are you doing?
Hey, he takes the pirate hat today.
Where's the voice?
I deem him pirate of the day.
There you go.
Buccaneer in the house.
Question number 1 of is Brady. All right. First thing that comes to mind when I say Tom Brady. JP.
Plastic surgery.
That's a good answer.
Nice.
Andrew Frazier.
Child kisser.
Dude, that is so weird.
Because he kisses his son on the lips and it's weird.
No, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I have no problem with that. That's not your child. Someday, God bless, you'll have a child, and then you'll think about it differently. I'm sorry. VG.
Never let the pagan take jujitsu or MMA lessons. So now would Giselle left him for her MMA instructor?
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Too much grappling. Too much body-to-body contact.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, she's out. She's not allowed. She tried. I want to take MMA. I was like, nope. You see what happened to Giselle and Tom? Not happening.
We were talking about this before the show. Eagles never have an announcer. We never have announcers.
Have we had any who transitioned?
Like the Cowboys, Aikman, Moose, right? Well, going back to the day, Jimmy Johnson did his thing. Like the Cowboys always have guys.
Yeah.
Give me the NFL announcers that we love and hate. Andrew.
Oh, hate?
Yeah.
Oh, Joe Buck.
You hate Joe Buck? He was on our show.
He's a friend of the show.
Oh, come on. For the longest time, I've had this taste for him.
I'm going to tell him next time. You know how I feel about Joe.
I mean, he's a great person, but announcer.
No, he's a great announcer.
But I'm separating that person from announcer.
Listen, it's your opinion. It's fine.
Yeah.
I don't want it's fine. All right.
Your opinion stinks.
How about an analyst?
An analyst?
Yeah.
I like Tom McCarthy, to be completely honest.
He's a play-by-play guy.
Okay.
You love Tom McCarthy.
Yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
John Kruk, I love those guys.
Okay, I'm talking football. You flunked that question. JP?
That's what happens.
So, love, and we start with love first?
Yeah.
Moose.
Yeah, Moose is good.
I like Moose.
Moose is really good.
Moose is good. Hate.
Well, it's funny because I really wanted to talk about this. That 2018 Monday Night Football crew with Joe Tessitore, Booger McFarland, Jason Witten. That was one of the worst teams put together ever.
It's weird. Tessitore.
He's not bad either.
I felt the same way. But I like him in college.
Right.
The Monday night thing, I didn't like him, but I watched all the college football. I love him in college.
Right.
I'm like Joe. I didn't like him at all in doing NFL. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm not a fan in the NFL.
No. But you watch him in college.
He's good.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
It's funny. Tooch had knee surgery. I went to go see him last night.
Oh, how's he
We were
doing?
watching the game. He's recovered. He's good. We were watching the game, and we were talking about Al. Al was great.
Oh, Al Michaels?
Yeah.
I feel like he's slipping a little
Yeah,
bit.
it feels like
Yeah.
there was a flag on every freaking play last night. Every play was a flag.
You ever see his?
And he was making jokes of it, but he's probably like, you're going to kill me with these games.
You ever see his dinner, like his setup at dinner at halftime?
No.
It's wild. Al Michaels has like a white tablecloth, 15 minutes at halftime, like a steak dinner. They set up a little table with white tablecloth at halftime. I've seen videos of this. He eats no vegetables. It's just like steak. I don't know if there's any salad. There can't be. It's just like meat. But he has them set up a little table.
Really?
Yes.
I couldn't eat a steak halftime and then go back to work in the second half.
There's no way.
Plus, you know he's having a glass of wine because if you're having a steak, you got to have a glass of wine. He's not an animal.
Nice little cab.
He may have. Well, I have to try and find this video.
Yeah, I need to see that. All right, what do you got?
I love Buck. I love the two guys. I like Nance. I like Nance more outside of football. I don't love him
Nance
in football. I like him in college basketball.
I love him
on
in
golf.
college. Yeah.
But I love Buck. I think Buck's the real deal. I hate this combo. It's Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma.
Oh,
I am out on that combination.
Completely out. I agree.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I'm completely out.
I love Kenny Albert with Moose, though. That was good stuff.
I'm not a Kenny Albert. To New York.
I think Moose
to New York. It's why I ain't Eagles a pro. I can't stand the little Eagle. But the Iron Eagle's a pro. He's just
Little bird.
He's just too New York, and that's just my.
A lot of people in the chat hate Collinsworth.
Yeah,
He takes a lot of stress
he's
off.
Super Bowl killed
He's
him.
one.
Yeah.
Beavis or Butthead? What does he look like? He's one of them.
It looks like both combined.
Yeah, he does. He is good though. He's like he annoys me, but he knows what he's doing. Like
that voice.
It feels like a big game when he's doing it.
They're doing great now. Tom Brady.
There's a weird Collinsworth TikTok video floating around. I got to find it for
Really?
Frazier to play when he was young.
My man Tony the Ref chimes in on the text board, I agree with him. Gus Johnson, he loves Gus. Gus is awesome.
He can overdo it a little bit.
I know, I love it.
But yeah.
Gus is.
I like him in college basketball. I think he's great in college basketball, too.
Oh, it's good. Oh, it lips it. And it's 2-0.
What do we think about Greg Olson?
I don't like. I like him as a guy. He's like iceberg lettuce.
He's better than
like,
Brady.
there's-
That hurts me because I'm a big
there's-
fan of Iceberg.
I know.
There's
I like
like-
iceberg lettuce.
But you don't like it plain. You
No,
got to dress it up.
Yeah, it's a nice compliment.
Yeah, you need
It's-
some like
you gotta
vinegar
dress
and
it up.
oil.
Yeah.
Because, but if it's plain, it's got no taste.
I feel you.
Gray in the hoagie.
It's more about the texture. Like
It's funny.
you can't do romaine on the BLT.
You ever hear old TV shows that come in that they stick in your mind?
Yeah.
Lines. There is an old. I used to love Sanford and Son. Right.
Mm-hmm.
My father watched it. We watched the reruns, the whole thing, and he's talking about going to people's houses, and he goes, and he's smelling. He goes, nothing. Smells like lettuce. He's like, you walk into my house, you smelling cooking, onions, frying, peppers, the whole thing.
Bacon fat.
And that's what Olsen reminds me of. Lettuce. Just nothing but plain lettuce. All right, we got to take a quick TO because we could do this all day long. JP, tell us about Empire.
Today, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today, you have to fix those floors. You've been looking at them for way too long. That rug's been there since the 90s, since those kids were in diapers. That hardwood floor is turning black, all right? It is time to change it. And you can change it here today with our friends over at Empire Today. And with Empire Today, you get at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, they're going to have those copycats, all right? But they can't beat Empire Today on quality, service, or speed. So they're going to advertise you a low-quality product that Empire Today simply will not carry. All right, and Empire Today won't promise lowest prices because anyone who does that is putting flooring in their home that they wouldn't put in theirs. That's not what they will do. All right, so get started here today. Do not wait anymore. Schedule a free in-home estimate today, and all of our listeners, listen to this. All of our listeners can receive up to a $350 off discount. $350. That's a lot of money. All right, so make sure you're using the promo code PHLY. Just keep in mind restrictions do apply. If you are interested, which I know you are, see empiretoday.com/PHLY for more details. So do not wait anymore. Fix those floors with our friends over at Empire
Today.
Fix those floors with a nice head of hair from Glad Hair Restoration. Glad Hair, established by the late Dr. Glad, is now part of the Morgenstern Center under the direction of renowned plastic surgeon Dr. Ken Morgenstern. He's a nationally recognized specialist among the few surgeons in the country who's trained in ocular facial plastic surgery and facial cosmetic surgery. Drs. Glatt and Morgenstern shared a remarkable bond that spanned many years as colleagues and friends. They collaborated on a bunch of critical research studies, and they worked together in the operating room. Glad Hair Restoration, what makes these guys better? Well, they got the same peerless approach to care, same expert team, same unmatched Glatt system, and the same state-of-the-art location. Each member of this exceptionally trained team brings 30-plus years of industry experience, and hair restoration's all they do. Glad Hair can help you in all stages of hair loss with leading-edge treatments for prevention and restoration, including laser light therapy and non-invasive TED treatments. Each patient receives a complimentary one-on-one consultation to pinpoint the best course of treatment, and a caring patient advocate works with you from the first phone call to the last follow-up visit. They understand this decision is emotional and challenging, and they're there to make it as simple and stress-free as possible. Glad Hair isn't just about restoration. It's about innovation. Their breakthrough treatments really do dramatically change lives. Change your hair, change your life. Bald is now optional. If you want to improve how you look and how you feel about yourself, Glad Hair is the right treatment for you. Regain your confidence. Visit gladhairmctr.com or call 610-980-4000 to get started.
VG, thanks, buddy. This portion of the program brought to you by the Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. That's right, betparks.com to download it, all the details. Let's welcome into the show from the all PHLY Birds. That's right, our buddy. We love him. Bo Wulf joins us. Good morning, Bo.
Yeah, Bo.
How we doing, guys? A little Chris
doing
Collins
good.
for the
Saw
show.
Bo
Like
out
coming
in
in
the
on
wild
that.
this week at the pub.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where were you guys? Where'd you go?
Yeah, the New Wave.
New Wave?
Yeah.
You gotta ask VG. He's walking around town like as a champion. He took down Quizzo. He won first place.
We won.
Oh, dude, you didn't say nothing.
Yeah, it's old hat. You know, we win all
you're
the
a
time.
champ. You're Quizzo champ. Look at that.
That's nothing to VG. That's a day at the office.
That's impressive, dude. There you go. Bo, watching the Cowboys last night, and we've seen them, and dude, we said before the season, I don't know how you go into this season with that core of running backs. Like, their running backs are hard. Like, Dowdle is not a lead back. Zeke is cooked. Deuce Vaughn is not good. They don't have a run game. And if you're going to be fair about it, beyond CeeDee Lamb, Cooks is okay. I mean, he's been a veteran for a long time in this league. But they don't have anybody that really scares you other than Lamb.
Yeah, I think that last night was a good, like, if you were worried that maybe the Cowboys were still a sleeping giant, you know, they had a bad start to the season, but you know, they still this very high upside team. I think last night was a nice rejoinder against that. They do not scare me. They don't seem like they are a team that's going to go out and win in 12 games or whatever. And it's not just the running backs, like you said. I think their options in the passing game are pretty middling after CeeDee Lamb. That defense, like the middle of the defense,
Daniel Jones threw for almost 300 yards against them.
Yeah, I mean that's like you or me doing it. Daniel Jones is garbanzo beans. So yeah, I am not super worried about the Cowboys. I mean, would you agree that the Commanders are a little bit spicier than the Cowboys at this point?
I do. I don't believe in the Commanders' defense, and I mean, I love the kid. I think the kid's going to be good. I mean, he's benefiting from there's no tape on their offense and on him. But my point in bringing this up is this is an Eagles division. This has to be. To me, it would be a colossal disaster if they did not win this division. After the bye, forget what happens on Sunday, because we'll get to that in a second. After the bye, you're going to be healthy. You're going to get AJ back. You're going to have Devontae back. You're going to be Lane, the whole thing. You get Cleveland, the Giants, the Bengals, Jacksonville before you go to Dallas. Are you kidding me? I mean, that should be a run. They should go on a run against at least 3-1, if not 4-0.
It should be. The only counter I would say is that I mean, I think it's fair to say that the Eagles through 3 games are not quite as good as we thought, right? You could flip the week 2 and week 3 if you want and say they should have won week 2, they should have lost week 3. That's fine. But I think there are some concerns about the Eagles' big picture. But there's no doubt that they look like they should be the best team in the division. I agree. If they don't win the division, it would be a huge disappointment.
Yeah, here's my counter to your point. You know, no A.J. Brown is a big deal. So when you put A.J. Brown back in this offense, and when they're all healthy, I think it's an elite offense. An offense that scored in the 30s against Green Bay, albeit a weird first game, the whole thing. But they should, touch the 30s consistently when A.J. Brown's healthy and they have that kind of offense. And defensively, look, we know what they are off the edge, but we saw Fangio, he'll keep them credible. Unlike Sean Desai, he'll keep them credible. So I still think that this should be a double-digit win team when you analyze it.
I agree with that. It should be. but they got to go and prove it. They got to go and do it. You know, they might lose this weekend. All of those teams that you talked about, they should beat. But also, you know, what if Jim Schwartz turns it on with the Browns defense? What if? Now, I mean, I actually don't think it's going to happen with the Jaguars. I think poor Doug may not make it through the full season there.
He's done. Yeah,
unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, they got to go out and do it. If Jalen keeps turning the ball over, if they can't get any help from the edge, then there are some problems under the surface. But yeah, I agree with you that they look like they should win 11 games.
Yeah, and my only thing is, they should be who I expected them to be, right? Like with AJ Brown, like without AJ, you know what he means to Hurts, right? Like you know what he means to the offense. Like when he's there and you have a healthy Devonta and Barkley, I mean, they should be who we thought they were. No?
I totally agree that AJ Brown is like probably the best player on the team and makes a bigger difference aside from the quarterback if he's on the field or not, right? So yeah, I totally agree. He changes the upside of the offense completely.
Yeah, and with him and Barkley, right? Like so Barkley and him are 1 and 1A, however how you want to cut it, right? So having those things. Well, it's funny, we were having this discussion earlier about, do you think the town goes too easy on Hurts as far as from a critical standpoint, or too hard? Like, how do you view it? Because the one thing I will say, he has a quarterback's dream. He's got a great offensive line, elite offensive line. He's got 2 elite receivers, an elite running back, and a very good tight end. I mean, I think back to Pinkston and Thrash for McNabb, right?
Right.
Like McNabb had a great offensive line and he had a good running back, but you know he would kill for this offense.
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before. Like, how many quarterbacks in the league would trade places with Jalen Hurts to get his weapons on offense? I think almost all of them, right? So he has as good of a situation as anybody does in the league. And to your question, I think it's funny. It's probably right down the middle, because I will every now and then I'll look at like the comments on the post-game show or something like that, and there will be somebody who's like, I can't believe they're not giving more to Jalen. Like he's making these boneheaded decisions. They're so easy on Jalen. And then like the very next comment will be like, why do these guys hate Jalen Hurts so much? He's doing an awesome job. It's like everybody has their opinions. Job. Well, that's right. I would hope so. But yeah, it's hard to disentangle the weapons that Jalen has, the offense that he plays in, how quarterback friendly everything is. But you know, I watched like Dak Prescott last night, and I know that Dak, you know, does some stuff that's really good, but like Dak doesn't have as many tools at his disposal as Jalen Hurts does, right? Jalen Hurts can offer more answers.
He's got a rookie tackle that he has to deal with. He's got no running back, and he's got 1 receiver.
Oh, and I totally agree, but I also think that like Dak as a player can't do quite as much as Jalen. Like he's not as athletic as Jalen is. He doesn't offer as many answers as a runner. He doesn't have as strong of an arm as Jalen does, right? It's a different style of player, it's a different style of offense. But I think I am of the opinion of both things, right? Where I think Jalen probably isn't as good as he would look. Like I don't think you could put Jalen in any offense in football and he would be a top 5 quarterback, right? But I also think that we probably don't give him enough credit for maximizing what he does have. So, you know, he's got to stop turning the ball over. He can't be the guy who leads the entire NFL in turnovers. But other than that, I've been impressed with the pre-snap stuff that he has done the first 3 games of this season, which was a huge question. I think he's done pretty well there. And so I think there is potential that Jalen can get even better.
What I've loved is how like they gave him answers against the blitz, and he has been on target. Right, the ball's been out. Like he's been good. Yes. First reads, he's accurate. Ball's out. But I wish he would improve progressions, going through his progressions. That's where he needs to improve. But
I think that's right.
I
think the other thing he needs to improve is he doesn't throw the ball when it's open. Sometimes he turns down a lot of throws.
He's late. Yeah.
And so that leads to like he doesn't go through the progressions because he's a little bit late to get rid of it, or he doesn't trust what he sees. Sometimes he's not willing to throw to, like, you know, whether it's Grant Calcaterra or whoever. He's often siloed into his top receivers. But the thing, he had a conversation with Jason Kelsey before that Monday night game about how when he's the one calling the stuff pre-snap, even if he's wrong, he's right because he knows where the weaknesses are, which is a little bit different than if it was Kelsey. So like just the internal clock changes. I think you have sort of seen that. Like there have been a couple times this year where maybe they had the wrong protection set, but he knew at the snap that it was the wrong protection because of that and was able to get rid of the ball. Now this weekend is going to be a little bit different. And, we know that Todd Bowles has heated up Jalen Hurts a lot and has had a lot of success doing that. And it's been a little bit surprising these first 3 weeks of the season. In that playoff game, Todd Bowles sent 9 blitzes of 6 rushers or more, and it killed the Eagles, right? Those big blitzes, they had one good play on those 9 snaps. We were expecting the Eagles were going to see all kinds of zero blitz this season in order to prove that they could do it. They've seen 6 all season long.
I know.
It's crazy.
Green
I don't
Bay
understand
Green Bay didn't do
why
anything.
defenses haven't tested them that way now, and they haven't done a good job. They've done very well against those 5-man blitzes, but those 6 plays they've faced this season, it's only 6 plays. They've had one good play. That was the 4th down play to Dallas Goedert last week where he makes the one-handed catch. So I would expect they're going to see a lot of that this weekend, and we will see, because this is really the bigger issue than was last season. Even last season, when we kept talking about how bad they were against the blitz, they were still pretty good against 5-man blitzes. They were awful, one of the worst in the league against those big blitzes. I think this weekend against Todd Bowles, we're gonna see a real test. And boy, is it going to be a test for Kellen Moore. Like this is like the job that he signed up for, was to help fix this very specific problem, and he's going to have to do it probably without Devonta Smith and AJ Brown.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. What are you hearing about Lane? Because I think he's trending positively.
Yeah, I think you have a better insight on Lane than I do. I heard Baldy on the show yesterday said it's looking good.
Yeah. So I don't know if you heard anything more. I mean, now Tampa's also beset by a lot of injuries. Those guys up front, like Vita Vea, is a big deal when you lose a big hog in the middle of that defense.
Yeah, their run defense has been one of the worst in the NFL this season, in large part because of no Vita Vea. And on the other side of the ball, their offensive line has been really bad. Baker Mayfield has the worst, sack to pressure or pressure to sack ratio in the league. Watching that game last week against the Broncos defense is fine. It's not great, and they were killing them up front. Even Tristan Wirth, I think, Fran was talking yesterday. He thinks he's dealing with an injury because Nick Bonito was getting after him, beat him a couple times. The center, Graham Barton, the rookie, is a promising prospect, but he has not been perfect. Their guards have been really bad, and then the guy at right tackle, who was the sub last week, was getting demolished. But they're supposed to get Luke Goedert back this week, which is, you're probably not in great shape when you're throwing a parade for getting Luke Goedert back.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting, right? Because we saw a lot of life from the middle of the Eagles' defensive front. Jalen Carter is a game wrecker. We saw that. We saw what he can do. It's going to be interesting whether or not they can get pressure off the edge, because that the middle should be able to eat against the middle part of that line. It's putty. They should be able to eat.
Yeah, there's a couple things at play here. One is, I totally agree, but this is the bar for Jalen Carter now, right? If you want to be an all-pro, it can't just be one game. You got to do it consistently. You got to ruin games on a consistent basis. And as you said, against this interior offensive line, even if they're double teaming him, he should have an opportunity to make some big plays. I asked Nick Sirianni on Wednesday about what he has learned through 2 years now of how to best get through to Jalen Carter. Does he want to be coached hard? Does he want to be coached easy? And he sort of gave a platitudinous answer and a wide ranging thing. But I think that is a real thing behind the scenes. How do we get the best out of Jalen Carter? Because if he can play like he played last week, 75% of the time, then this can be a top 10 defense. That's how good he is. The other thing here is stopping the run. Now the Bucs do not have a very good run game, but they're in 11 personnel a lot, 75% of the time. So this is not going to be an easy button answer for the Eagles like it was last week, where they can just go to those odd man, 5-man fronts against heavy packages. The Bucs are going to be running out of 11. So they got to prove that they can stop the run in those 4-man fronts, because we know that they didn't do that in the first 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting for them. I do think having won last week completely changes the tenor of the game, right? Like if you lost last week,
especially with the injuries,
if you lost last week, there's a pressure on you not to fall 1-3. Like, if you lose, obviously you want to win, but if you lose
don't you think because if they lost last week and then lost this week, like there would have been some real heat on the bye. Like, do they make a move kind of heat? Don't you think?
Yeah, I don't think that they would have anywhere near fire Sirianni at all during the season. I don't believe that. Do you think so?
I don't think so either. But I think they would have been. I think Jeffrey might have been thinking about it. He might have been putting his head on the pillow, thinking, "Do I have to do this?"
Yeah, I don't. Listen. This town would have been crazy, right? Like, so the town would have been. Listen. The whole first. I was talking about it the other day. Like, I went out Tuesday night to dinner, and everybody in the restaurant was talking about. I got asked 1,000 times, Eagles going to fire Sirianni? He's got to go. Like, all they did was talk about Sirianni.
In the ether,
and I'm like, no, man, like, they're not going to fire. Like, that's not happening. And by the way it's set up, they're set up to make a run, right? So after the bye, it's set up perfectly for, like, he could be sitting at, or they could be sitting at easily, 5-2, right? At some point.
That's absolutely within the realm of possibility.
But to your point, it would have got the town would have been unrest. Like we would have turned into savages. That would that would have happened. The torches would have been.
I don't know about turn into. We just would reveal our inner savages. We're all savages anyway.
Well, the torches would have been lit.
That's right. I have a question for you, cuz there's the weather for this weekend, right? It could be stormy, sort of like hurricaney. Supposedly it's going to clear a little bit before game day, but where does like a nasty rain game rank for you in like the aesthetics of watching a football game?
Snow won, right?
100%, absolutely.
When you see
without a doubt.
Oh, I love it, man. I college games like I love the thing I'm excited about is the college playoffs in these towns, right? Like, so you're now to domes. You could actually see, there'll be some weather games. Like, I love the weather. And I do like an overcast. I like football overcasts. I don't know what it is. I'm weird. I don't like bright, luminous sunshine.
I don't want a September game in Florida where it's like, it's 95 degrees. You're getting
no. And that cold,
still better than a dome.
Overcast, like just at dusk. Like
what I love? You know what you gotta love is the really cold winter where it's you see everybody's breath.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
give me like a January Green Bay game where it's you see Tom Coughlin looking like he's about to die because he's so cold. That's what I like.
Hey, I was watching the Fernando Valenzuela 30 for 30.
Yeah.
That's your father, right?
It is, yeah.
Oh, man, that's awesome. So Bo's dad is in that documentary. He's great. He's a great sports writer.
I thought Valenzuela was his father.
An amazing sports writer.
Yeah, Fernando's my dad.
And so Bo's dad, Steve, is in the documentary. And he talked about
cover story on SI.
What's that?
Wrote that cover story for SI.
Yeah, which was amazing. It was an incredible piece, and it was it was awesome. I was thinking of you. I was going to text you last night as I was after the game. I put it on, was watching it, and that was a great 30 for 30. And your father,
what's funny is he told me like a week ago that he was at his favorite diner, and his favorite waitress was like, "Hey, I saw you on the Fernando Valenzuela doc last night." So I'm glad that doc is getting a lot of rerun.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's awesome.
I like a diner waitress who's watching Fernando 30.
Yeah.
I'll pour you coffee.
How about they were going to deport him? Like when he was holding out because of the contract, there was a move for the government to deport him back to Mexico, saying he wasn't legal here, and if he's not working, he's going to get deported. What a crazy story to try to force
that's a tough negotiating tactic. Yeah, right? That's really playing hardball.
Oh my God, it was wild. Anyway, so what do you think?
Maybe the Jets will try that with Hassan Reddick.
Yeah. They're going to deport him back to Temple. Who got murdered last night by Army? Oh, I knew it too.
3 touchdowns?
Yeah. More than that, it was 42
14.
28. What do you think Sunday? What's your prediction?
Good question. I don't know. I guess I'd like to see the injury report. I think I lean Eagles win. I think if it is a bad weather game, that does, I think, play in the Eagles' favor.
Yeah, so do I.
Because their advantage is up front. If it's a drop back passing game, that's not so great. But yeah, I mean, for now, I'm leaning a close Eagles win.
I mean, it's not like the Bucs have a great passing offense so far. I mean, they're averaging like 180 yards a game.
Well, it's their line.
And it's a really boring offense to watch.
And their receivers are great.
Yeah,
but they had no time.
Yeah.
It's a really boring offense to watch too. You know, they obviously made a scheme change. They lost Canales. They bring in Liam Cohen, and like the downfield passing concepts are sort of boring. It kind of reminds me of like the 2020 Eagles offense, where it's just go out and win one-on-ones. There's not a lot of scheme to it. So yeah, like I'm not worried about this Bucs team, but you know, Mike Evans can win some 50-50 balls, and you know, if Jalen keeps turning the ball over, who knows what happens, but I think I'm feeling cautiously optimistic for the Eagles.
I like it. Bo, we love you. You know that. You're the man, pal. Thank you. There he is.
Guys.
Bo Wulf, on PHLY Eagles today. Make sure you're watching. Time now for the brain. Brain.
Red, the brain finder.
Mr. Brain, how are you, buddy?
Good morning. I like that was some funny stuff on what he said about Hassan Reddick. I enjoyed that line. By the way, the Hassan Reddick thing, they should make a 30 for 30 on that whole saga. Like, I don't get any of it. I don't get the Jets trading for him when they know he wants a new contract. I don't get him going all Le'Veon Bell, where he's like, I'm going to lose this money and never get it back. By the way, if he came back today and he goes, just give me a contract, I want to be paid, and they paid him, he's still going to be down what he would have done if he just came in the first place.
Yeah, how much is he being penalized?
He's never going to get this $8 million.
Millions and millions.
Oh my God, this is great. I got to interject.
$8 million he's down, man.
I feel you, dude. I don't understand that a little bit. By the way, Brain, of course, the ambassador for the BetParx Sportsbook online casino app. You watched the game last night, and everybody's crying about the missed field goal.
I did.
Oh my God, he missed the field goal.
Well,
and that meant the spread, right? That was 5.5. It closed.
Yeah,
Anthony, that game was like every pro I know won on that game. They had Dallas minus 4.5, or they had the Giants getting at least 6. Okay, there's no one I know who lost on that game. But that also tells you the point of being in shopping for a number, right?
Yeah.
It was right around the number. I mean, even on kickoff, Anthony, I saw some 4.5s, I saw some 5s, I saw some 5.5s. So to me, that was a case where, if you shopped that and got that right number, that meant everything in the world. And obviously, Brandon Aubrey missing a field goal, never would have guessed that in a million years. The guy's the best kicker of all time.
Of all time? He's been around 2 years?
I mean, Justin Tucker, but whatever.
Yeah.
It was the whole thing.
Well, I mean, this guy.
Well,
he's unbelievable. I'm exaggerating. He's not Justin Tucker.
I don't shop around. I use BetParx lines. I don't mess around and shop around for lines. I'm a BetParx line guy all the way.
Yeah, no, I feel you. All right, buddy. Who do you like this weekend? You got last weekend of baseball, and we got the football. Are you in a hurricane right now because you're frozen?
I know. Can you hear me okay, though?
Yeah. Keep going.
Hear me?
Yeah.
At least.
Helen's got him.
Okay, all right. At least you can hear me. All right. I probably look better
this
frozen anyway, so it's an upgrade. That's how I look at these things. It's an upgrade. No, it's funny. It's overcast badly, but right now it's actually not raining. It's just it looks ominous, but no rain, at least where I am.
All right.
So I'm lucky with that. Look, do you want to just talk college first or pro?
Go college first, then give us your pro picks, baby.
Okay, and first of all, Anthony, good call on Temple last night. You said 4 touchdowns, right? I think they lost by 4 touchdowns, and you actually said 4 touchdowns. So good call by
I
you on
also
that.
said
First of all,
Daniel
kudos.
Jones would run
look,
for
Anthony,
50 yards.
Well, he actually played a good game. I have to give him credit. He actually played, for him, at least for him, a pretty
He
good
almost
game.
threw
That
for
was a good game
300.
yesterday. That was actually, at least it was close.
Yeah, nuts.
Yeah, I didn't expect that either. And it was an interesting game. And again, it certainly could have gone either way. Dallas is no good, by the way. I mean, Dallas, just on a side note, the Eagles are better than Dallas.
They're not good.
Yeah,
I agree.
They stink. Yeah, they're not good. They're not going to make the playoffs.
Dude, I agree with you.
Look, Anthony, we're talking about college football.
How do you go into the season with those backs?
You have Jerry Jones as a GM.
Yeah.
You got Rico
horrible. I mean,
who stinks, right? You got Zeke, who's 1,000. Like they stink. I was getting so frustrated.
You know what it reminds me of, Anthony?
Yeah.
Do you remember when Arthur Blank, and I'd never seen an owner do this, ever. I'm 53 years old. I think I'm 53. And I've never seen an owner do this once. When they asked him about Lamar Jackson and they had no quarterback, he's like, why would I want Lamar Jackson? I don't want him. Why would I want him? Yet you fawned over Deshaun Watson. Came in second, didn't get him. Then you had Desmond Ridder. And that was your answer? And I remember I lost all. I'm like, are you kidding me? Why would you want the MVP?
I know, dude.
And then I say, Jerry Jones, they go, why would I want Derrick Henry? He go, why? We don't need Derrick Henry. Okay, then you sign Zeke Elliott? I mean, come on, you lose all credibility. It's like, how can anyone even look at you in the locker room when you say stuff like that? It's awful. But they're paying the price for it now.
Me more than
that's a team that's
yeah. What bothers me more is I argue with national guys that are all over the Cowboys. I'm like, dude, this before the season. Fitzy, right? Like all these people I'm arguing with, they're like, oh, Dallas, go over the last history tells you. History tells you what? Look at their roster. Look at their skill people. They're not good. I didn't get all the Dallas love before this season. I just don't understand it. Yeah, brother.
Yeah, they have a bad defense.
Your connection is horrible, brother. Do me a favor.
It's probably the weather, man. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Do us a favor. Text me all your plays. I will pass it on to the audience. Okay? This way.
Will do.
All right. Thanks, buddy. It's a shame because
they're calling it a brain freeze in chat.
Who said that?
Casper the ghost.
Casper's good in the comment section.
That's fantastic. A brain freeze. Yeah, and plus there was the delay. Forget the fact that he was frozen on screen. There was also
he's like a satellite in the Middle East on chiming in on a war.
Yes.
It's like you ask him, he's just listening.
He's on hurricane watch.
Yeah, no, he's on the other side of the state. He's not going near a hurricane. He's on the other side of Florida.
I don't know what's going on in 561, cuz.
Right, exactly. He's in the 561. He's not even anywhere near it. Now and it was also that delay was like driving me
brutal.
nuts.
Oh yeah,
it's tough.
He's got a terrible hat game. I know he's got the Brad's best bet hat he's wearing tonight, but his hat game is weak.
You need to do the hat intervention.
His hat game is weak. He's got the Breakers resort hat he wears.
That's you can't wear that hat. You know who wears that hat? 75-year-old men
who drive around in golf carts like he does in Margate.
Right, like, and it's so bad. Like you're spot on. Now you got a great hat game.
Yeah, I mean, I try. It's like the only thing we can do is bald men. We got to accessorize our hats.
You need to do a hat intervention.
Besides that Oilers one, everything else.
Well, his fiance got him that hat because it was a B for Brad. That's why he wears it. He told us about that a couple episodes ago.
Letting the girlfriend or fiance or wife dress him.
Dude. Yes.
Not good. Letting Queen V dress him. He's got to change that up.
He's got to.
Yeah.
He got to change up a lot over there with the Queen.
Yeah.
He's got to hit a bunch of parlays for the Queen.
Yeah.
All right. Let's tell me. I got to tell you about
Christian McCaffrey might be out a couple months.
Dude, he's done.
Man, oh man.
He's done.
Niners.
All right, brain freeze. He heard about that. He loved that one. The brain likes Illinois plus 18.5.
Ooh.
Right. UNLV.
Oh, whoa.
Minus 1.5.
They rallying
without the quarterback. UConn minus 5.5. And then he likes Baltimore, the Ravens minus 2. That's a great game.
That's.
I didn't want to get. I get why he likes Baltimore.
No.
I would not go in front of the Bills train.
That's the Vegas line. Everyone's going to be on Bills, and they're going to. I think Ravens win that game.
Yeah. Well, that's what it's setting up.
Yeah.
But I got news for you. I wouldn't. Don't go in front of it because the Bills train is legit. Atlanta minus 2.
Who they got?
The Rams plus 3. And the Packers minus 2.5. I like Green Bay. I can see that.
Okay.
Anyway, that's the brain. That's his selections.
And you got 73% of the world is on the Bills right now. It's a trap game.
Oh, really?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a Ravens screaming Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, he's a pro. That's why he said that all his crowd, the pros, nobody lost. You got to follow the pro.
Yeah, the Bears minus 3 versus the Rams. I'm with him there. I go Rams there.
First of all, that Bears team.
Yeah,
could it be they got it wrong again with Caleb Williams?
I think he's going to be all right.
But
his attitude.
Like Jaden Daniels looks like the better player. Now, again, it's 5 minutes into their career, so I'm not rushing for judgment or anything. Coaching plays a huge part of it. Everything else.
He's got to strike the attitude.
What's that?
He's got to strike the attitude. He's like he doesn't have a winner's mentality. When he loses, he sulks. He gets angry. Like you're not going to go far in this league if that's how you're going to. You got to work. You got to put your nose to the grindstone and work. And he doesn't do it when he loses.
For a lot of these guys, it's the first time they ever lose. You know, a lot of these guys never face.
But you can't let it beat you up. You got to learn from it and keep going.
I mean, not like he's coming from UNLV, played at USC.
Yeah, he's been through that.
But here's the thing: Jay Daniels has Kingsbury. I love Kingsbury.
Mm-hmm. There's a video going. I don't know if it was on Hard Knocks or if it's an outtake, but the GM of the Giants, his kid's on the couch, and he's asking his kids who they would take. And his kid's like, Jaden Daniels. His kid's like 13 screaming about how great Jaden Daniels is. And then
everyone
the Bears got it wrong, and there's like this 13-year-old kid screaming.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Saw it, man.
Now, listen, he's slight. Jaden's slight. He's got a good arm. I like the way he throws the ball. I do. I like the way he throws the ball. Kingsbury's a great coach.
Yes.
He really is. He's an underrated mind. People don't like him, and I don't know why. He is a really good, when it comes to concepts, Kingsbury's legit.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He got a nice house, too. I remember seeing his house.
I was going to say, that draft stuff probably affected his image with some people.
Hey, I'm a Cliff fan.
Yeah. All right. Those are the brains picks. So you want to tail along, you got it. Hey, let's talk about Bet Park Sportsbook Casino app. Like the brain. Birds 2-point road favorites at Tampa. You could bet more than just a score. Touchdowns, rushing, passing yards, sacks, interceptions. All right. Download the new Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Again, it's the only one that we'll ever recommend. Bet Park has your seat live dealer, by the way, for all your favorite classic casino games right on your phone. So while you're watching the game, you want to play a little dealer blackjack, roulette. All right, it's perfect. You can bet all your favorite sports, birds, pro football, college football, MLB playoffs. Make your downtime fun time. Download the Bet Parks app right now. Enjoy all the action and excitement from the casino at your fingertips. Hundreds of exciting slots like the new Peaky Blinders game. Love that, based on the TV show, which is my favorite. Check out the, in fact, new users. if you download it and sign up, if you're down in the first 24 hours, you'll get up to $1,000 casino bonus back. So betparks.com has all the details. Got to be 21 in PA, New Jersey, Michigan. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. You play for fun. You love to win. You bet. BetParks.
Love it, cuz. All right, listen, we talk about all the tools that you need to win some money in some of these bets. All right, let's talk about some of the tools you're going to need for this fall, because just because it's fall time, it does not mean it's not grilling time. All right, and there's only one place I'm going to for all my grilling needs. All right, and believe it or not, yes, Ace is the place with the helpful hardware folks, but also with the helpful grilling people, because they have everything you need for this grilling season. Tomorrow night, heading down to Chester, watching one of my last regular season matches for the Philadelphia Eagles. We're doing a little bit of tailgate, all right? So I'm going to need some grilling stuff. I have my eye on the big green egg. I want that smoker, but probably not going to bring a smoker out to the parking lot, right? But they have some great smaller grills. And like we always talk about, Ace has the great people that will give you the best recommendations, even for inside and outside the house, but especially for grilling. All right, they have all the pellets. They even have some cookbooks, all the tools you need. You may need a spatula, right? They have everything there over at Ace Hardware. All right. So right now, visit Ace Hardware at acehardwarehomeservices.com, and you can find everything that you're going to need there. But if you do need something in and around the house, check them out. They have everything you need, including the trained professional that will help you out as well. And make sure you let them know that PHLY sent you. So, ladies and gentlemen, for grilling season or fixing inside or outside the house, keep in mind our friends over at Ace Hardware.
All right, JP, thanks, buddy. This portion of the program brought to you by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. TrueMark.com/PHLY to see the credit union difference. All right, joining us, let's go inside the matchups for Sunday. Take a really good inside football look. We got a great leatherhead. That's my man, Fran Duffy. He joins us. Good morning, Franny.
And what's up, fellas? How's it going? Excited to talk some birds.
The baldy shirt. You got the baldy. I love it.
Dude, I
That's
need that.
fabulous.
Dude, one of my favorite events every single year. I went down not the first one, but the second one, and was one of the few media people down there. And it was, I mean, it's an awesome event every single year that Lane Johnson and Duke Manyweather put on, a bunch of NFL linemen, and now it's just blown up. I mean, hundreds of guys from around the country. It's so much fun every single year. You know
what's funny? Those are really interesting because now there's other position groups that do it, and they get sponsors. Like they're actually making money off it now because there's a lot of sponsorships that are down there. And it's a great idea because what it is a giant think tank for the position.
No question. The first time I went, and again, this was year 2, so it was like mostly pro guys. It's a little bit different now. It's like, I would say like 80% college players that go, but that first year it was like 30 pro linemen in the room and a few college guys in the back. And they're just saying, all right, like, Aaron Donald, what do we do to block this guy? All right, Danielle Hunter, how do we block this guy? Micah Parsons, how do we block this guy? And then they talk for a half hour and they go through film. Just an unbelievable think tank session. And now they're going through different techniques and preparation through the week. And there's just so much to be able to take away. And like you said, every position does it now for the most part. But it's so much fun to be able to go down and pick those guys' brains for a couple days.
I know. It's cool. Crosby does one. The DNs. I got to get my Anthony to that one. He played yesterday, Franny. I'm like, dude, you got to get off the block. You got hands. Your hands. You got to use your hands.
One move.
All right.
If you're not winning at the top of the rush with your hands, it's a slow go. You're gonna have to luck out.
Exactly. Like he's got a good nose for the ball. Like he's physical, but hands, dude. You got to win. That's how you win it. We got to learn. We got to get him. We got to get him. I need your help with that, Franny. All right.
We'll get into the film room. We'll break it down.
All right. Good. All right. Lots to get to with this game. It's a fascinating matchup because we saw what Bowles and Temple Todd loves to throw everything at the Eagles. Right. He loves to throw it in general. He is a walking man zero. That's who Temple Todd Bowles is. Eagles haven't, so we're just talking to Bo Wulf about this. They haven't seen a lot of man zero. They've seen 5-man pressures, but not a lot of man zero. And you'll see it this week.
Yeah, and that's going to be fascinating to see exactly how Jalen Hurts and Kellen Moore handle it here this week. I thought against New Orleans, the Saints threw one of the first third down of the game at Jalen Hurts, and they did not have their ducks in a row from that standpoint. And Jalen Hurts gets sacked on the very first third down of the afternoon. Now, you would hope that going down into Tampa, you're going to be a little bit more prepared for what you've got. It's going to be a little bit of a different environment. We know the Superdome can be pretty loud, a little bit louder than Raymond James, but I think when you're looking at Jalen Hurts, I mean, Todd Bowles has been his boogeyman for the better part of his career. And so just being able to kind of exercise that will certainly be big for Jalen in this game. I think for the most part this season, they've shown a really good plan against the blitz. But as Bo mentioned, and as you just said, I think the fact that they haven't seen too many of these big blitzes with 6-man rushes, that's something that Bowles is going to certainly bring. He's going to try and test that and poke that hole as often as possible here in this football game.
All right, so you look at it and you go, we're hopeful that Lane plays.
Yep.
No Devonta, right? So now you're down, obviously, to in your receivers. If you got to expect Bowles to sell out to stop the run, because their run defense is horrible, right? Yep. They have not been good. You're missing. The injuries have killed the middle of that front for Tampa. We talk about Vita Vea. You talk about what that front seven has gone through injury-wise. And they've been very vulnerable to the run.
Yeah, no Vita Vea last week. It looks like he's going to be back this week, but it's certainly not going to be 100%. And when he is not 100%, that front is just not the same. Kalijah Kancey, the first-round pick defensive tackle a year ago, he has not played this year. The edge rushers have not defended the run well enough here so far for them this season. They're also missing Antoine Winfield Jr. He's missed the last couple of weeks, and he's a playmaker on the back end, highest-paid safety in football, but he's also a really good run defender as well. And so I think when you're looking at this run defense, uncharacteristically bad for a Todd Bowles unit, because usually they're one of the better run defense units in football, but this year not doing it well enough. If you don't have AJ, you don't have Devonta, it would stand to reason that you're probably going to lean into Saquon Barkley in this football game. But again, the big thing will be if they're not able to run the football, if Todd Bowles is able to load that box and try and stop Saquon, then you got to be able to stop the blitz. You got to be able to make them pay and try and get them out of those run-heavy looks.
At this point, you got to believe that Dotson knows the offense, right? Like there was a learning curve. When you get him late, there's a learning curve with knowing the offense. Now, he should know the offense. I'm curious to see what he gives you in the pass game.
Yeah, Bo and I discussed that actually on the PHLY Eagles show yesterday afternoon, because obviously from a numbers standpoint, I mean, Dotson has been a complete zero so far. My take on that is that it's been just a lack of opportunity. Obviously, he has not been targeted in this offense.
Exactly.
I mean, the most targets he's had in the game was 3, and that was last week. So I think when you're looking at overall his usage, if you're going into the week knowing you don't have those top 2 guys, it's going to be Dallas Goedert and Saquon at the top of the pecking order. And then after that, it's going to be Dotson. So I'm going to reserve judgment on his performance. To me, you and I talked about this last week, Anthony. When I watch him on the few routes that we've seen where he's part of the progression, I don't see it. It's not like he's a step slow or he's going the wrong way or anything like that. I think that he looks the part. Now it's just a matter of making those plays when his number is called here this Sunday.
Yeah.
Hey, Franny, Goedert, we're hoping we rely on him a bit, but I was looking through. It seems like the Buccaneers allow the 4th fewest yards to tight ends. I know they've had Zach Ertz they play, but they held Laporta to like 15 yards. Is there anything they do specifically or talent they have that you think might limit what Goddard's able to do?
Yeah, I mean, they've got some matchup players on the back end, and I think a big part of it is just the fact that when you are successful as a blitzing team, which Bowles, for the most part, they have been this year. They blitz a ton, but they haven't been able to generate that same amount of pressure as always. But even still, what you often see with quarterbacks going up against this team is that you don't have that ability to always be able to push the football down the field because the ball's got to come out fast, right? And so I think that's probably why the yardage numbers are down. Laporta, I think there were a couple plays with Detroit where they just were not on the same page, both he and Jared Goff. And so I think there was just some missed opportunities from Detroit's offense. It was more a lack of execution on their part as opposed to something that Tampa Bay was doing. But they've got a number of players that they try and match up on tight ends. They've got a Philly kid in Tyke Smith, who's their rookie slot corner. He's going to play a lot for them here in this game on Sunday. Another local product, Christian Isian, he's stepping in for the safety, Winfield. And so he's another local kid who was their slot corner last year. He's now a starting safety. He'll match up against tight ends. And so I think when you look at this defense, I think there's going to be opportunities there for Goedert. And even you look at last week, obviously he had those big plays. in crunch time last week, after Devonta Smith went out, New Orleans said, look, we're going to double team Goedert on third down. We are not going to let 88 beat us. On both the times they did it, he had 30-plus yard catches, including that 61-yarder at the end, where they just dialed up a perfect play call, and the execution was outstanding. And so even if they do try and design ways to try and take away Goedert, Kellen Moore has shown so far in one game that he's going to find ways to get those guys the football.
I love Fran.
Can I? You're gonna love him even Fran. More. So I want to. The diehards experience the genius and insanity that is Franny, and I want to share it with people who aren't diehards so they know how brilliant this guy is. This is the chart he's made up for this game on offense and defense.
I love this.
So let me take you guys inside this, right? I've been doing these charts for years.
This is the work of a brilliant.
So I do it every single week. This is what I use when I'm breaking down the opponent every single week. And the first couple weeks of the season, I would send these to Bo and to Zach, and I would say, hey, I'm going to write an article off these notes. And it was last week, and both guys were like, why don't you just post these notes? Like rather than writing the article, just take a screen grab of these notes and just post these. And I said, all right, yeah, that'll save me a couple hours. I'm down. We'll do that. So these went up yesterday. So I think we'll do this from now on. Where
I love the notes. The notes are perfect because they should. You don't need to write a story about that. The notes is it. It's everything you need right there. It's it's why I love you, man. You're a great leatherhead. Let's go to the other side of the ball and geek out more. All right, because that Tampa O-line is not good, all right? And this is where it should be another Jalen Carter game. Like, Jalen should wreck them.
Yeah, and obviously Jalen had a really good game last year. Both he and Fletcher Cox really wrecked shop in that Week 3 game. And even in the playoff game, I thought the defensive line did a nice job against that offensive line. And really, it's an interesting kind of comparison of philosophies. And Anthony, I love studying general managers and their tendencies and team-building philosophies, things like that. And when you look at Jason Light, who spent a lot of time here in Philly, They have an archetype along the offensive line. They have a type that they certainly go for. Now Tristan Wirfs, he's a different beast because he was a top 12 pick. He was a freak show coming out of Iowa. But when you look at the guys that they've got starting alongside him, a lot of them they're not the big, fast, physical, traitsy types. They're not like Jordan Mailata or Lane Johnson or Landon Dickerson, where they've got this superpower that they lean into. That is something that the Eagles always target is, hey, we want guys that are unusual athletic, and have these unique traits, right? With Tampa Bay, a lot of them are kind of like your average Joe, like really tough and physical and technically sound. So it's an interesting kind of comparison here because you've got Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Josh Sweat, guys that have length and explosiveness and have that ability to win off the ball, going against guys that don't have those traits. And last year in both matchups, the Eagles' defensive line won. And I do think in this one, this is a really big mismatch in the Eagles' favor. When you look at that interior defensive line going up against that interior offensive line, I really like the rookie center for Tampa Bay. They drafted him in the first round this year, Graham Barton. I think he could have been a potential Eagle if things had fell a different way in the draft, if Quinyon Mitchell had gone earlier. But I think when you look at the two guards, that's an area where the Eagles certainly can win in pass protection and in the run game, honestly. I'm not afraid of this Tampa Bay run game at all. And I think when you look at them in pass protection, they can certainly be had. But Baker Mayfield has been under fire for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I mean, that defense should set the tone for this game. I mean, when you look, because that defensive line should be able to eat all day long. And that goes back to what Fangio believes in, right? So if you can generate pressure without, blitzing, that's going to be a big deal. Now, the only thing is they go 11 personnel. So let's see the Eagles against 11 personnel on defense because they struggled before that.
Yeah, and if you go back to that Atlanta game, that's where they struggled when he was defending the run out of the nickel. The big thing in that one, though, is remember, so many of those cut blocks at the second level, that was from Chris Lindstrom, the all-pro guard from the Falcons. And they just don't have that at the guard spot right now in Tampa. And so that drop-off in talent, Zach Bond, another week in the system and playing the position, knowing what happened a couple weeks ago, can he be ready for that if they stay in that 4-2 look out of their nickel defense? But for me, just going back to that first point that you made there, Anthony, they do have to get pressure in this game, and I don't want to give too much away from those notes that you guys flashed earlier. But first key in the game for me for the Eagles defense, pressure is not enough here in this one, because when you look at Mayfield, he has been sacked a ton, and that's really hindered this offense for the last couple of weeks. But when he is able to throw the football, when he's been pressured, he's been the most accurate in the league, has been able to create big plays. So he's doing a nice job under pressure throwing the football. The problem is that he just hasn't been able to escape from a lot of that pressure. So if you do get to him, you got to get him down. You got to make the most of those opportunities. And so we didn't see Jalen Carter finish for a sack last week. We only saw one sack in each of the last 2 games against Atlanta and against New Orleans. This should be like a 3, 4, 5 sack performance from this defense. That's what you want here in a winning effort.
Hey, let's see if the edge comes through. Right?
Yeah.
Like, it goes back to the edge. Like, are you going to get anything off the edge? You mentioned Sweat. Like, they have to get something off the edge.
Yeah, and their right tackle, Luke Edeke, he missed the last 2 weeks due to injury, and Justin School stepped in his place. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson had 4 sacks 2 weeks ago. They struggled again against Denver a week ago. It looks like Gedeke's going to be back, and he's a nice player, but again, not someone that you're going to write home about. He'd be the 4th or 5th best lineman for the Eagles, if that, right? So I think when you're looking at that should be an area where the Eagles should be able to have some success.
Hey, Fran, it looks like a change of the guards coming for the running back position for Tampa. I was reading a bunch of newspapers. Everyone's clamoring for Bucky Irvin to be the featured back there. What do you see from him on the tape?
See, the thing is that a lot of his plays so far have been kind of like the trickery, like gadgety type of plays where they've kind of just constructed a nicely schemed play and we're going to get him out the back door, or we're going to run a reverse or an end around. They're not putting him in the backfield and saying, all right, we're going to line
an Oregon play.
Yeah. So like to me, that's not sustainable. That's not something that you're saying, oh man, like we have to worry about this guy. You do have to, they play in plenty of 2-back stuff, and you've got to be ready for that from a matchup standpoint and on specific plays. But I don't think that they haven't shown yet that he's going to take over the full-time running back role. And so he's more of like a complement that's going to play 12, 15, 20 snaps tops in the football game. And honestly, like, yeah, he might belt off one explosive, but I don't think that they're going to look at him as he's going to be the bell cow of this offense.
Hey, let's go in the NFC for a second, go beyond the Eagles, because we saw Dallas last night.
Yeah.
And, I keep harping, but that running back room is just devoid of any talent. Honestly, I think the Eagles, forget what happens this week, right? Win, lose, whatever. If they lose, just say that. You come out of the bye, you got Cleveland, Giants, Bengals, and Jacksonville. All extremely winnable.
Yep.
You get healthy, you'll have AJ back, Devontae back. You're ready to rock and roll. Like, they can go on a major run. And I look at the rest of this division, and I go, the Eagles should be able to get separation from these teams.
Because honestly, and we talked about the Cowboys we did like an over-under show going into the season, like over-under win totals. And looking at the Cowboys this year coming in, I would have taken the under because you're looking, obviously, you have Dak, but you had the contract stuff all offseason. You had the contract stuff all through the summer with CeeDee Lamb. You still have it ongoing with Micah Parsons. You lose your defensive coordinator. You lose a ton of depth on that side of the football. You lost a couple starters in the offensive line. You don't have running back depth. Who's the other pass catcher that you're going to rely on after CeeDee Lamb? What are we talking about here with the Dallas Cowboys? What are you getting super excited about? Obviously, the Dak and CD combination is lethal, one of the best in football. Micah Parsons, one of the best defensive players in the league, but with a new system going in, I just didn't have a ton of faith that the Cowboys were going to be a double-digit win football team, and I think we've seen that play out. They just don't have the same level of depth right now that what we've seen from them in years past. The top-end talent is certainly there, but I'm not really scared of this football team either. And so if you're the Eagles, not only are you going into the bye week, all right, let's lick our wounds, let's get healthy, let's make sure that we can go on this little run here. I kind of wonder, they look around and say, hey, you know what? Like, maybe is there a trade that we can make to really make sure to cement ourselves as one of these elite teams in the NFC? Because you're looking around, San Francisco's banged up. Is there a path here to, the potential 1 seed, 2 seed here for this football team?
Yeah, yes. The answer is yes. I mean, I still think Detroit is probably the most talented team in the conference. After that, I mean, it's pretty wide open. You mentioned San Fran and all that. I mean, they're seriously banged up. Green Bay, once you get Love back, will be good. But it's wide open.
No question. Hey, Minnesota's playing well, obviously. You got to worry about Brian Flores, and that offense is humming right now, both run game and pass game. There are some teams out there, but how much of it's sustainable? I think when you look at the star power on this team, if that defense, especially if that pass rush can get right here in Philadelphia, this is a team that can make some noise. And so I'll be interested to see in the next few weeks if the Eagles decide to make a move to just try and bolster, especially that defensive side of the football.
Yeah, that's you got to get an end. You know what's interesting, man, is that the Reddick thing, and now people are saying, "Hey, he wouldn't mind going back to Philadelphia." All right, that situation, and I love Hassan. I mean, he's a friend of the show. I've had him on numerous times. I just don't know what he's thinking, buddy.
That's a lot of cheddar to leave on the table, man.
I know.
I don't know if I can follow it.
You never recoup that,
no.
And we know what a year off does to you. It's a shame.
It's on both sides too, because obviously the Jets, you make that deal thinking you're going to be able to get something done, and I know obviously there was a kind of a handshake agreement there that hey, in good faith we'll get something knocked out, but certainly not on the same page. That's a tough pill to swallow to try and move on from him at that point if you're the Jets as well.
I'm with you. All right, buddy, what do you think? Give us your prediction.
I feel good about the Eagles winning this game. I do think it's a little bit of a low-scoring game. I think both defenses probably have the advantage going into this matchup. It seems like the weather will clear out by the time we get to Sunday afternoon, and so it shouldn't be a messy game from that standpoint. But I do think when you look at this, it's going to come down to who can make less mistakes or who makes the less crucial mistake. I think it's obviously a big test for Jalen Hurts, but I really like this Eagles defense going up against the Bucs offense. I don't have a ton of faith in Baker Mayfield and being able to lift the tide with what he's dealing with from that offensive line standpoint. So if this defense can come out, replicate the effort from last week, I think that the Eagles win, we'll say 21-13, something like that. I think it's some kind of game like that.
All right, so I need to ask you, you're spot on last week from 1 to 3 rating on gummies. Last week was a 2 gummy rating. You were good. You saying this is a 1 gummy game?
Yeah, I think this is a 1 gummy game. Maybe you want to do 2 to relax a little bit. Just take it easy. It might be one of those.
All right, I like it.
Wow.
France.
All right, good. That's great. That's great stuff, brother, man. I love it. I love this segment. You're the man, buddy. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys. Talk to you soon.
Here he is, Fran Duffy, our resident leatherhead, who is fantastic. Let me tell you about Parks Casino. I told you about the Bet Parks Sportsbook online casino app. Let's talk about the casino, all right? The casino, as they say in Philadelphia. The casino. Where you go, my grandmother? Where you going? I'm going to the casino. I'm going to the casino. There's nothing about that. Parks Casino
the cold, fresh air in there. You can't find the doors, the exits. You don't know what time of day it is. I love it.
Dude, when Andrew and I were at Parks Wednesday night, the air, not that it cured my allergies, but I was in such a deluge from it, right? Yeah. And an outbreak. It helped me clear the outbreak.
I love it.
How about it, Andrew?
It felt like the first time in 3 months I could see you actually breathe properly.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's the great filtration system.
Yeah. You got to live there.
Parks. So not only do you breathe well in Parks, but the Excite Center has you all the entertainment you want, and then some. Parks Casino, Street Road exit off at 95. This is how you win. How about the beer garden, the steakhouse, the noodle house, the sports book, which we were at, the poker room? They got it all, man. And the Excite Center, state-of-the-art entertainment venue inside Parks Casino. The best for concerts, for boxing, for comedy. How about a busy weekend coming up tonight? Comedian Tiffany Haddish sold out.
Wow.
Tomorrow night, The Fray sold out.
Wow.
They got everything going on. All right, so tickets. Get your tickets. October 4th, the Juicy Scoop podcast with Heather McDonald from Bravo and Chelsea Lately. October 5th, comedian Kev Herrera. October 24th, TLC. November 1st, Invincible, tribute to Michael Jackson. November 16th, rocker Brett Michaels for VJ.
Nothing but a good time. How can I resist?
Yeah, VG.
Hair band from the No Hair Man. Steve Trevino, the great comedian, November 23rd. December 6th, Patti LaBelle.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Philadelphia's own.
Yeah, that's right. Parks Casino, this is how you win. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Love it.
What about game time, dude? If I want to go to
listen,
games.
I have a proposition for everyone here in this room, all right? Friday. So game 1, Phillies in Washington, right? Let's go down to Washington, right? VG, you bring the gummies, I'll make the drinks. Andrew brings the music. Right. We hang out.
Whoa, Andrew's bringing the music? A bunch of Broadway show tunes?
Oh, come on. You saw my playlist. It's good.
I'm anti-sports and gummies.
I don't understand it. You just haven't had the right ones.
No,
especially baseball, cuz nice to relax.
No, I don't want to be.
Can't
I don't
focus.
want my brain to be foggy while I'm watching the game.
No, you need a good sativa to lock you in, laser focus you. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I could see like I watch a movie, whatever.
Well, there's different kinds. It's like Dunkin' Donuts.
All right. Well, you know better than I do.
All right. So
I just want to watch the game.
All right, we're gonna go down to DC. All right, and an hour beforehand, we're gonna go on the game time, and we're gonna see the low prices that we're gonna be able to buy for these tickets. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have people saving up to 60% off. So listen, if you want to do my idea, I highly recommend it, right? So head on, what other game may be, head on down to the arena, wherever the area is, an hour beforehand, go on the Game Time app, see your seats before you buy. Even better, you'll see everything you're going to pay right up front. No more heading the checkout page and you got $1,000 worth of fees. This is what the Game Time app is doing. They're trying to create stress-free and trying to save some money for a lot of people too, because we all know the day and age that we're living in. And so right now, go create an account over at Game Time. Use the promo code PHLY at the checkout page. This will get you $20 off that first pair or the first purchase that you have over at the Game Time app. That's beer money right there. All right. So create that account. Find those tickets, use the promo code, get your discount, and of course, stress-free buying is gone with our friends over at Game Time app.
Thanks, JP. Appreciate it, buddy. 10:30, brought to us by Rite Aid, RiteAid.com for all of your goods, vaccines, everything else. What's the matter? You look runnerish.
Yeah, Zach's got a good little nuggets in his Twitter feed about Fred Johnson and Jeff Stoutland.
Oh, dude.
And Fred's saying, like, when he got here, he was a hard-headed, didn't want to listen to anybody. And Stoutland, Zach's got these quotes from Stoutland saying, like, maybe his secret sauce for Jeff is, like, telling these kids what they can become and what he sees of them. And he's like, I don't know, but Fred's a very talented player, and he needed to see what he could be. And when he does something that's going to hurt him in a game or something, I said something to him about what I saw. I saw things on tape that are happening, and I said, look, man, I'm not making this up. I promise you this is what's happening. It's creeping into your game, and you don't even realize it. Listen, I need you to trust me and not be offended when I coach you. I'm not against you. I love you. I want you to be the best. And I think that once we had that mutual agreement, he took off.
I love
true leader, man.
Well, he's a coach is what he is. He's a coach. And that's born coach. And that's it. And that's an issue, especially with young people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Young people, especially today. I deal with it with my two kids, right? Like, I'm like, dude, you got to trust me, especially my little one. You got to trust me. I'm telling you this stuff for your own good. So you'll succeed. Nobody loves you more than I do. All right. Nobody wants to see you succeed more than I do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But you got to trust and listen when you say it. And if I say it once, I don't need to say it 10,000 times. You got to do it. You got to do it. And that's where Stoutland comes into play. It's why
Jake Rosenberg retweeted that and added that when Fred was cut by Tampa, he had a bunch of opportunities, and Drew Rosenhaus was like, you have to go to Stoutland. He's going to get you to be the best player you can
Jake
be.
is fantastic, by the way.
Story,
he left
man.
the Eagles to do basically create front offices for college football, which is really interesting. All right, time now. We got to get your fantasy, man. Usually we do them middle of the week. We got to get to him. He is the one, the only geek. Geekus Aurelius.
I got the Jets sign.
You got to have that. Can you cover that thing up? Put something over just for the hit.
Just get us a different angle.
Just for the hit.
It's been 40 years. Can I have one season where I can get some hope, some happiness?
No, listen,
we don't need to see it.
I'm happy for you. Listen, you're a great dude. I think you're an awesome dude. You and I are friends. But you can't have it's Philadelphia. It throws the audience off. You just got to change the angle.
They see the green, cuz you don't get it. We're all the same. Look at the hat.
Yeah, you're not getting green. Come on, man.
Eagles, you don't know. You don't know.
All right, buddy. All right.
I wear this in Philly. They're like, Eagles will go. I'm cheering it. I don't say anything.
Trade something over. Put a picture of your beautiful daughters over the Jet thing next week, just for the 15 minutes that we're doing this.
Gators.
All right?
Gators, too. Yeah. Don't forget the Gators.
Yeah. Well, the Gators, listen, Howie Roseman went to Florida, so we're good for that. My man, good to see you. DFS Army and the Sharp app is here in the house. Geekus Aurelius. Let's go through it. General overview for fantasy this week.
It's week 4, guys. If you're 0-3, you're in a lot of trouble. Let's hope that you're not. This is the turning point of the season. So you got to get it right. There's certain players in week 4 that you're starting to give up on. I'm going to give you a name, and it's unfortunate because this is a name from before the season that I was excited about. But you're probably benching Anthony Richardson, cuz.
Wow. Yeah.
It's time. It's time to give up. It's time to give up on Anthony Richardson. Just pick somebody up, make it happen. Whoever's on the waivers is doable. This is also a week, so I'm starting Caleb Williams over Anthony Richardson. I mean, it's getting crazy out here.
Are you serious?
Yeah, got to do it.
Caleb Williams?
I mean, it's a choice between.
I would start him on your team if I was playing you.
It's brutal. It's a brutal choice. But you got to do what you have to do this week. Got to make sure you get those wins. So a couple of things for people who are struggling in their league right now. This is big. I think people ignore things like the defense a little too much. The worst guy in your league, he never swaps out the defense. He's just playing with the same one every week. Guys, don't do that. Okay? You can navigate the rough weeks in fantasy football just by paying attention to streaming a defense each week that is just better than the garbage you have sitting on your team. Don't be that guy, right? A week like this week, there are a few. Even the Raiders at home against Cleveland, as bad as Deshaun Watson has kind of looked, they're the only one available. I don't mind it. The Rams at the Bears, the aforementioned Bears. Every rookie quarterback has been a turnover machine, so we have to target those guys with the defenses that we're choosing each week. So that's just a little really important note. And then I'll tell the same thing I kind of always say, and the biggest cheat code for fantasy football and what I'm doing this week and every week in my leagues is I'm looking on the waivers for those running backs that can elevate to starters. Think Ty Chandler. Think Ray Davis is looking like that guy in Buffalo. That second, Bucky Irving in Tampa. These guys are available. They're on waivers. You got to go get these type of players because that's the only way you can replicate a first-round pick. I'll give you another sad one here, cuz. You gotta bench Tyreek Hill until further notice.
You said before you trade him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, trading him is the brilliant move.
Yeah.
Right? Because there is I don't know. Do you guys have an opinion on that? I don't know that we'll see Tua playing football again. I don't know. I have no information. I'm worried about it.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I hear you. I mean, you don't know. I mean, obviously. Yeah, no, your point's right about Tyreek Hill. I mean, listen now, and you see it. It's funny because guys that performed over the last couple years, you become conditioned in your mind, but you almost have to divorce anything that happened pre this year and then look at trends and look at where you're at and look at and see, because now we've 4 weeks. After 4 weeks in the NFL, you self-scout. I think you can do the same thing in fantasy where you can see, all right, I have an accurate picture of who I can depend on.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned the 4-week number because, and I'll get into my nerd hat here. In our metrics and in what we do for measuring players and teams, it's week 5 that we transition over from data from last season plus this year to exclusively data from this season. So after this weekend, we're going to, with all of our metrics and everything that we do to sort of predict what's going to happen in these games, we're going to be doing the swap over, and we do it every year, week 5. So we feel that 4 weeks is enough data to start getting a picture of what's going on. Like, again, another example. Last season, the Dallas defense was really, really good. Like, it was a defense you didn't want to mess with too much, and now they've been terrible. Like, they've been a defense that you want to target. So, you kind of have this thought in your head of which one is it? They haven't changed too much. After week 4, we're going to start to believe that what we're seeing is who they are.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, buddy. Well, let's get to it. Who do you like at quarterback this week?
I mean, there are 2 big games. The very obvious one, of course, is with Kyler Murray and Jaden Daniels. That's the fun game of the week. The Washington defense is considered to be the nut defense this year, meaning the one you want to go after with whoever they're playing against. And then we saw Jaden Daniels looking amazing last week. The nut, like, yeah, you play Pope, the nut hand. So you want to target everything to do with Arizona this week and Washington. Both teams. Jaden Daniels, give me that as well. That's the game of the week for me. That's the one that I'm trying to build lineups around. And then I have a sneaky game that I love. I love this game between the Bengals and the Panthers. I was one of the few people who liked Andy Dalton last week, to my boy, who I call cheat code, Deontay Johnson, the cheat code, the fantasy cheat code. He is that, and he will continue to be. He only lost his title for a tiny little speck of time when he didn't have an actual NFL quarterback. Now he has one. Actually, he had about 2 seasons of no NFL quarterback. It's unfair to Deontay. The cheat code was cheated. He was cheated, but he's back. So play Deontay every single day. Start him in your lineup. That is the man. But I love that game. I don't mind Andy Dalton. I'll play Andy Dalton in DFS. Maybe even on a regular fantasy team. I'm not sure about that. Maybe that's too far.
He's going Andy Dalton.
Red Rocket.
He's got the Red Rocket.
Yeah.
I played him last week. It was amazing. I was the only one. 300 yards passing, threw it 50. The other side of that game, Joe Burrow, terrible defense, decent offense with Cincinnati. That is the formula for success. I love it. So we want everything to do with that game as well this week. Both sides of it. Both sides. No running backs. Just pass catchers. Flying footballs going everywhere, making money for us. That's what we want to see. So those are the 2 games I'm primarily focused on. The third one, mildly, and I'll give you a little bet for the Parks betting window here. The third one I kind of like is Jacksonville at Houston. Houston still hasn't put it all together. We finally get them down to only 2 wide receivers, so I don't have to make that difficult choice of Tank or, Tank's not going to play this week, so you can focus in on Diggs and Nico Collins. Love that side of it. But weirdly, my model is predicting a big game from Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence, which I know that's the face I was like, what? This is the guy? We like the over.
Your models, are they what kind of models are they? From where? Brazil?
The model likes Trevor Lawrence. Sunshine. I don't know. We don't fight the model. We embrace the model. We don't fight it. It likes the over. I think the line on Trevor Lawrence passing yards is 225. We like the over. We like a big game from T-Law.
Wow. All right. Well, this is good. This will test the models.
Yeah. I think we gave out Sam Darnold last week, and it worked out.
Yeah.
Park was mad at me because I said everybody go to the window.
Yeah.
Get that bet in.
Yeah, you're right. You did. That was nicely. Awesome. You're Sam Darnold. How about that running back, buddy?
Running back this week, you know what's wild? It's Mason again. Go right back to it. Jordan Mason, running back, San Francisco 49ers. Who's that guy? Filling in for Christian McCaffrey. Big game ahead for Mason, taking on the New England Patriots. Breece Hall, again, we want running backs attached to teams that are favored heavily, great defenses. So, we expect the Jets to kind of dominate defensively against Denver. A little more Breece Hall there. There's a couple of lower cost guys. Brian Robinson Jr., the aforementioned Commanders team. Austin Eckler is out this week with a concussion. unfortunately, heal well, my friend. But Brian Robinson Jr. will get all of the looks for this team. That is an elevated volume number for Brian Robinson Jr. You just plug him in. He's going to be just fine. Aaron Jones, I'm not going to call it a revenge narrative, but Aaron Jones going back to Green Bay, I think is going to want to show out. And by that, I mean, Aaron Jones, his problem is usually like some games he gets like 10 touches and other times he gets 25. I think we will see elevated touches for Jones. I think it means something to him. He wrote this article about everything. And there's this article I read that he wrote about Green Bay and his experience, how much he loved the team, and he'll always be a Packer. You don't really see this from players.
That's cool. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, you saw it, right? Okay, so yeah, it was really special. And because of that, I think he's going to have a special day. There's no metric that backs that up. It's just emotions. And then the other guy I really like a lot, if Kyler Murray is failing this week, it's going to be because James Conner, the Terminator, is getting touchdowns, multiple touchdowns. So I like James Conner as well, both as sort of a bit of a hedge if you're playing DFS against all the Kyler Murray exposure that everybody else will have, because you won't pair those two. And also as a standalone play against, again, the nut defense. You just want players against Washington every single week.
I like it.
Yeah, we got a question for tight end. Mark Andrews is invisible. Do I start Hurst or Eric All?
Oh. Can you imagine asking if you – no. You're going back to Andrews, and you're going to suffer with the decision you made in round 3 to take him. No, we're not playing Eric All or Hayden Hurst. Absolutely not. You go back to Andrews and suffer.
All right, I need help of my own here. I need 2 of these: Khalil Shakur, Rashee Rice, or Zay Flowers.
I mean, just Rashee Rice is an every week start. That should never be a question. He's probably in the top 12 of wide receivers. There's never a person that you're going to start over Rice. I'm going to go Flowers as the second guy, but I love K-Shack. I think he's ascending to the top receiving option for the Bills. But Flowers is the top receiving option already for his team. Zay is the guy. It's Zay and Rashee, and that is a good problem to have. Whoever is that, you?
That's me.
Yeah, you got good problems. Okay, that's a good team.
Yeah, I'm 0-3. Hey, for a flex, someone's got a
flex. Is that
flex.
because you benched Rashee Rice the first couple?
Someone's got a flex question: George Pickens or Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Yeah, I'd go Pickens this week. I like the matchup.
All right, that's all we got.
There you go. I like it. My man. All right. People got to get the Parks app. They have to get the Sharp app as well. And you got great stuff going on in the Sharp app. All your props, the optimizers. You also have the DFS Army, which gives you all your fantasy DFS. We're starting basketball soon, so people love that sort of thing. You guys do it all.
Yeah, we have what you need. If you bet on sports, if you love fantasy, Sharp app, I gave out the Trevor Lawrence play. It's at the top of the Proptimizer tool. It just lists them out. 43% edge on that play. So, if you enjoy betting on props, for example, and you just want to quickly jump on an app and jump on the Proptimizer and see 5 or 6 spots, and then you can kind of make your decisions. There's a ton of data there. We have, you ready for this? We got Parks. We got Parks lines on the Sharp app.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
So, it's all right there. Really, it's basically, you think about if you're a professional bettor, or you want to be that. You don't want to be a square. This is what you need. You need this information that we have on the Sharp app, and it's easy to get. It's on your phone. So download that app and get on there.
You got it, buddy. Geekus Aurelius. Thanks, pal. Always a pleasure. Next week, your daughters. No more Jets.
Please.
I don't want anybody seeing my kids. But one more thing, though. My daughter, ready for this? First singles in tennis at high school. My younger one. We've been practicing all summer. First single.
Good. That's awesome, man. Yeah. That's beautiful.
We practice all summer. We play golf and tennis all summer long.
That's awesome, man. Good job. That's great. You're a good dad, buddy. Thanks, pal. There he is, the geek, checking in. And there he is, Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Making his drink of choice. What we got, JP?
We got here, ladies and gentlemen, the Pirates Punch. All right. This one's for my people who like their drinks more on the sweeter side. Again, Florida.
That would be me.
Tampa, not known for much, right? So I wanted to get something orangey, and then VG brought up the rum stuff too, which I thought was great. So we found this this Pirates Punch. So all it is, it's the light and the dark rum. We have some amaretto as well. And then we got the juices. I went heavy on the orange juice because obviously for Florida.
Sure. And
a little bit cranberry as well. And that's it.
Pirates Punch.
Gotta love the juices, man. Gotta love the juices.
Last week was solid. I was buzzing last week.
Hey, we got some callers on the line.
Oh,
nice.
Nice. And we got to do our finish our Friday Five as well.
That's right.
So who do we got?
First up is Sam from England.
What? There he is. Sam! What's up, Sammy?
Hey.
What's up, man?
Hey guys, is you okay?
How you feeling, buddy? What's going on?
I'm good. Well, I lie. I'm not feeling good about Philly sports right now, so I need you to pick me up.
What? Why? What's
wrong,
Red
Sam?
We got Red October about to start. Great shirt, by the way.
Yeah, and a tattoo. Look, I've got the Sixers tattoo.
Nice.
No, Red October I'm excited for, but is the bye week a curse? I'm just worried. Harper's got back into Harper started hitting again. I know Sanchez has played really well, but I'm like, is that bye week gonna cost us like it cost the Braves last year? I just don't want. I'm just worried.
You can't. You got to suspend all of your disbelief. Move all your worries. It's the playoffs, right? Like the true wisdom of the playoffs is it's baseball and anything happens and it's really difficult to kind of, predict. They're good. We know they're good. So you know that they have between pitching and their lineup, I mean, they're an elite group. So you got a great chance going in. Just go enjoy it, man. I love baseball playoffs. I think they're a good team. The other little intangible, they've been there. They flourish. When it comes to Red October, the last 2 Octobers has been a party. They understand that. So they're not going to shrink in the moment.
Yeah, I know. It's just because we haven't had the bye. We've gone through the wild card. I just think we've built that momentum up, and then we've just rounded it.
Listen. That's fair, but don't put too much weight on that.
Okay, good. And then the second worry is obviously this weekend, right? Missing AJ Smith, Lane. Is Dotson going to suddenly have a great game? Do we are we going to see more Gainwell? Do we have to sign
Barkley? Barkley, Stam.
I'm hoping so, mate. But there's only so much running they're going to give him, isn't they? I know. Are we going to line him up as a wide receiver and get more Gainwell? That's what I mean. Because Dotson didn't seem to be trusted last week. I don't know.
No, but Dotson didn't get any plays his way. He got 3 looks after. That's it. You got Goedert. Now all of a sudden, let's see. He's now has a chance. He understands the offense. Let's see. I don't think Dotson's an issue. I think he'll have a decent game. I think ultimately it's going to be on the Eagles' defense because you got to take advantage of that thin Buccaneers line, right? And this is where Jalen Carter wreaks havoc. Now, look, they can lose this game, but here's the point: the fact you won last week, it doesn't matter if you lose this game. It doesn't. After the bye, the Browns, the Giants, the Bengals, the Jaguars, before you get to Dallas. Extremely. Yeah. They're going to go on a run. Win, lose, Sunday, it's irrelevant. They're going to go on a run. When they get healthy, they're going to be fine, buddy.
Yeah, that's a good point. You've reassured me there, Ant. So I'll give you that. With that side, and amaretto is the best drink. That is my go-to drink.
Oh, you're an amaretto man, are you?
I am. Yeah, it's hard to get in America because we have the brand from I think Italy or Europe called Di Serrano, so it's known as Di Serrano more here. But amaretto, obviously, the actual.
How do you drink it? Do you drink it? Some people drink amaretto in club. Some people just drink
Coke and sometimes vodka, but Red Bull. Coke's the go-to. Yeah.
Okay.
Amaretto sour was a big one when we were 21.
Yeah. You're right about that. My man's got the Pirates Punch right here.
Yeah. What is it? Yeah. Di Serrano, orange juice and.
So I just use orange juice and cranberry juice. Something just popped. And then dark and light rum and amaretto. Shake it up. You can add some. I saw some recipes of pineapple juice. You can add that as well.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I need
This is
convincing on that. I
dangerous.
think.
That's really dangerous.
Well, that's it goes back to the jungle juice, like any sort of punch, because you don't feel it.
Yeah.
You're just drinking it, and then all of a sudden you get the punch.
You put pineapple juice in this? Forget about it. I'm done all day.
I'm a big pineapple man too.
I love pineapple.
I'll tell you what, I'm not, but if the Eagles win, I'll buy that and I'll do a shot of it.
Now, how's your wife? Is she still on you about being a Philadelphia sports fan and the money you're spending?
Yeah, well, so the awkward conversation is we want to come over at Christmas time to visit my good friend John in he lives just outside of Philly, but he's trying to work it out, and it looks like it might just be me. My son Iverson wants to go to a baseball game because he's really got into baseball. We went to the London series and playing the show.
I love Iverson's all into baseball now.
Man, do you know what? Who was it who was pitching for when we dropped when Suarez was injured and we put in a random pitcher and he was like, "Oh yeah, he's really good. He's a right-handed pitcher." I was like, "How do you know this information?" He's like, "It's from the MLB show. I've been playing it. He's a pitcher on there." I was like, "He knew a pitcher before I even did." I was like, "He just came up from AAA."
How old is he?
He's 13. He's 13.
Ah, dude, that's awesome, man. Are you kidding me? That's fantastic. You got to take him to Utley. There's the big youth league in London.
London, yeah.
You got to take him up, dude.
Yeah, London's league's good, but our local league's not so good. So, like, my local team's about 40 miles away for him to play. I mean, he plays soccer naturally on a Sunday, so it's quite hard for us to make. But he wants to come and try baseball because, like I said to you when I spoke to you about the London series, what MLB did, having batting cages, having professional coaches from teams there, showing young people and obviously grown-ups like me how to try and hit a ball. It just created this buzz around the place, and then there's all these softball teams and baseball teams from the UK trying to promote it.
So for kids, for a league, it's 40 minutes away from you.
About 40 miles, yeah. Oh. So and that's right near near a place called Bournemouth, where right on the coast, because where I am, and then
I know Bournemouth. I know the soccer team,
the Cherries.
Yeah, well, my team are playing them on Monday. Yeah, it's not a derby. They call it a derby, but it's not a derby to us, even though they're right next to each other. We don't see them as rivals. They're just annoying little neighbour that we're friends with. That So
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, like the Giants, kind of. But yeah, because the Giant fans are annoying, right? They really wind me up, especially the Jersey ones, that live in Jersey, and they mix along, and they support the Sixers as well, or the Flyers, and they're a bit of both. It's like, be 4 for 4, because that's what Ant taught me, and that's why I'm a 4 for 4 guy. When I listen to you on the radio, you convince me to support all the teams, and it's because of you that I do.
I love you, Sammy. You're great. Monday we'll be at Sixers, so Sixers Media Day. We're doing the show from the Sixers Media Day from practice facility, so we'll be there. Doing a lot of Sixers stuff too. Talking about the Birds, of course, but a lot of Sixers. We saw the Flyers last night. Dude, I want you excited. All right, it's Friday. Hey, what time is it there? It's 3 o'clock?
4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Go get a pint. All right, call off of work, and let's go. The weekend's here, baby.
Yes, go Birds. You've got me convinced for this weekend now.
It's all right. It's good. We love you, buddy.
And you guys, see you soon.
Cheers, Sam.
See you, Sammy.
Looks good, Sam.
Yeah, way better connection than Brad.
Sam's connection
all the way from London,
England.
Yeah, what are they doing over there?
It's way better than Brad.
They must have better infrastructure over there.
Dude, that was fantastic.
Man. He's not in the 561. Man.
Brad's saying the weather. That weather's all the time in England. It's always overcast.
Who else we got?
Yeah, we also have Black Gritty on the line.
If it's a football Friday, it's a Black Gritty football Friday. Good morning, my brother. Good day.
Cuz VGJP. First of all, I gotta start sneaking and do these live in studio. JP out here with them drinks, boy. I'm trying to get one of them drinks.
They are no joke, these drinks.
If you allow me, if you allow me for Sam, let me tell you something, Sam. I know you across the pond. You worried a little bit about Red October. Red October is red for Philadelphia Phillies, brother. Thank you, Bryce, for choosing me. He shows up when the lights are the brightest. I mean, he might have been down, but he's kicking back up. And once the playoffs start, guess what? We're a little bit older right now. We need a little bit of rest. We've been running roughshod through everybody. The reason everybody's got that curse wild card teams is partly, in fact, to Red October and the Philadelphia Phillies. So, Sam, I know you felt a little wishy-washy, my brother, but let me tell you something. Red October is coming for you, man. You ain't got to worry about a mammy-jammy thing, okay, Sam? Your connection's better than mine, too. I ordered across the pond. I got to find out what Wi-Fi he working with. He working with that special Wi-Fi. Now, let me get to the game. Put on my spectacles here. Now it seems like
wait a second.
I'm not a meteorologist. I just play a scientist on the internet. So I think a storm's coming.
I like it. Real quick, diehards, we love you, diehards. Thank you for being a part of PHLY, supporting all of us. Black Gritty, the cheap seats, Franny, all of our Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, and 4 for 4 land. Go ahead.
If you want to throw me an alley-oop, I'll help you out real quick. So if you're not a diehard, go ahead and become a diehard. You know why? You can get off that cesspool to this Twitter. You can get into the Discord with some real Philadelphia people. Okay, there's a couple of ladies sprinkled in there too. Go and enjoy yourself and enjoy your Philadelphia lifestyle by becoming a diehard today. I'm telling you, get a discount on the shirts. We got the Fly to Victory tees out there with Saquon Barkley. Get yourself one. Look a little bit better than you do. You get 20% off. I'm just saying, become a diehard. If you're not, it might help you out. Now, can I get back to my meteorology report?
Let me hear it.
It seems like there's going to be a hurricane. I feel a storm coming. It's coming around the bend. Good thing that the Philadelphia Eagles are the national bird and they can fly through any storm and do anything they got to do. I ain't got my linemen. I ain't got my wide receivers. I ain't got a head coach, but it don't matter. Run the ball and make sure you get to that second level. Todd Bowles is 1-3 against us. I'm not going to front like this man don't know football and don't know defense. He's going to be throwing everything but the kitchen sink. Thank Lord Jiminy Christmas. The one thing Jalen's gotten better at this year is handling the blitz, okay? So we're going to handle his little funky blitz, get to that second line, Saquon going to bust through because they can't tackle. And then, let me check the report again. It seems like Baker Mayfield is still Baker Mayfield, okay? And he about to get cooked down there in the storm. It's an ugly game. I'm expecting 92 turnovers. This is the game where, you know what, Nick? Don't kick a dang gun field goal. The winds are swirling. It's going crazy. But you know what you need to do? Get me that George W. I don't want to hear nothing because I know it might not matter. You know what I mean? We got the bye week coming up. You know what I mean? Fly, Eagles, fly, and whatnot. But keep the main thing, and get this win. Go
Ladies and gentlemen, Black Gritty. You're the best, buddy. Cheap seats.
Love you guys.
Love you, buddy.
See you, Black Gritty.
Black Gritty.
Like Hurricane Gritty. I like him. He could drop a little black Johnny Cash in there.
Yeah.
Hurricane come around the bend.
Yeah, it was impressive.
I love it.
It really was. It was
I love the
fantastic.
glasses. Look great.
Really,
the whole nine.
so professional.
Oh, yeah.
Run the ball, Nick. Run the ball.
My calculations say pass.
Run the ball.
Throw that chart out the window.
I'm Charty. Charty says, now what will crop up this week?
Nothing. Nothing.
Wait,
nothing.
We're
Nick is going to be
Charty.
Yeah, we didn't talk about fourth downs going into this game.
None.
Punt the ball, Nick.
Yeah.
Punt.
Field
Punt
goals.
the ball.
Yeah, right. He's going for it. 4th and 20, we're going for it.
You know it was
I was
overcast.
messing with Kevin Burkhardt.
Overcast and field goals on 4th down.
I was messing with Kevin Burkhardt. Because we were talking about the game because he's doing the game with Brady.
Right.
So I was messing with him and I go, hey, Catholics don't eat meat on Fridays and the Eagles don't kick field goals on Sundays. And he was cracking up. He's like, I don't want it. What is that about? I go, dude, I don't know.
You wait,
man.
you'll see.
I mean,
you'll see.
They better kick.
Yeah.
Take the points.
You got to take. Sometimes you just do. You got to understand who you are with your offense. Well, let's see.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to have to think about him on Monday. I just want a good Eagles win, and we just come in here and have a good time.
No, I agree.
Nice to not be thinking about him.
That would
Can't be a main storyline, dude.
All right, let me get. We got our man because we didn't figure out what to watch over the weekend, and then when I want to get to Righty back in the day moment and finish the 5.
You might not love it, but I think it's we need to do this on Righty back in the day.
All right. Well, let's go coming up. But first, TV time. Act like a man. You can't handle the truth.
It's time for TV time.
Ta-ta-ta-ta-ta!
Oh, is that a New Year?
Man, what a show today. What a show.
Let me see that shirt.
Michkov.
Wow.
Yeah. Did you get that as a season ticket holder? How'd you get that?
I think it was what they gave out at opening night last season.
Okay.
Dude.
But hey, I watched last night. JP, I got to give you a shout out, brother. You were all at Roku on the post-game show. I feel like you live in that studio.
I got a cot here.
I love it, man. That was fun last night.
It was.
Seeing Michkov do a little
Lubachenko.
Boy, can that guy see the ice, man?
Yeah, man.
You know, some of those touch passes and seeing so is Jet going to make the team? I mean, it feels like it, right?
Has to.
Yeah, I don't know.
A little too young.
Yeah,
I want to buy it.
I think
Let
no.
him go.
I think no.
I say yes. I want him.
I think Torts will destroy him for
Nah.
sure. He's not ready
Listen,
for Torts.
Torts.
He's not ready for Torts.
Torts is going to be. He understands this. I got faith in Torts.
We'll see.
Torta.
Yeah, I think this kid has a shot. I think they know what it could do, energize the team. We will see. Did I hear that he would be the youngest Flyer to ever make the team?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
yes.
that's something.
Michkov has the potential to be the youngest goal scorer in Flyers history, too. If he gets a goal, obviously, before February.
Oh, he'll get a goal before February.
Yeah.
Man, these guys are all giddied up. I love it.
Fired up. I love it. This is the greatest time of the year we are entering. October is my favorite month.
It's the best.
Love
It is. Hands down. It is. Let's go.
We got everything. Baseball playoffs, obviously college and pro football. Basketball starts. Hockey starts. Halloween.
Halloween.
Everything. It's the best.
The best.
All right. So what are we watching over the weekend, my buddy?
You know what I'm watching right now, and I'm really into is the Vince McMahon series on Netflix.
Oh, I started that. Yeah.
Good?
I love it so far. So it's got like
So I hear.
he is. I mean, he's got like so it's like they interviewed about 100 people that are involved with him, including him. And most of the interviews, of course, are before the recent scandals all came out. But just the history, just the beginning, the history of what he did by, he never knew his dad. He meets his dad at age 12. He gets involved. His dad throws a broadcaster out in midstream and says to Vince, "You're broadcasting tonight." And that was actually in Hamburg, Pennsylvania, his first broadcasting. And then he destroys the wrestling territories and builds this, I don't even know what to describe WWE now. It's beyond impressive. But it's a cool series so far.
It's interesting because he says something like, "Oh, you're not going to get all the stories. The story, like and it's like then you find out because after the fact we learn the stories. We really don't want to know the stories because they're horrible, but because yeah, there's a whole he infers like, we can't even talk about what's happened in wrestling, but you're gonna get this.
Oh, of course.
And then there's the after the fact we hear all these lawsuits and stuff. It's like,
well, listen, you could.
I mean, how despicable does he come across?
And now he released a thing on Twitter and a PR thing saying it's the editing. He's out of context. You can't separate Vince McMahon from the character of Mr. McMahon. He's trying to damage control, but he's in trouble.
Yeah, but I think it's really cool because the viewers could obviously watch this, learn all the history, and then you could go back and you could read the complaint right now against them. It was interesting. But the first steroid trial was here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I mean, it's pretty cool.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that's wild.
You know what? I watched it. I loved Hope Solo, the documentary.
Yeah, that's good.
Man, I was always this Hope fan. She's a little rebel, a little outcast. I thought that was really well done. And I know it's her side of the story, but they reached out to everybody, and none of them wanted to partake. And they really, according to her, treated her like total
99
crap.
team.
Yeah, they were horrible to her. And I have to believe her story because no one wanted to come on and answer any questions.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to believe it for sure. That's cool. Did you watch VG? Did you watch any of the the Ryan Murphy series Monsters yet? The Menendez stories?
Dude, I was about to. I wanted to bring that up because I just started the first episode.
Like how many? I was like, do we need another Menendez story?
I heard the acting is not that great.
I didn't know anything about the story though.
Yeah, well, let's break it down a minute here. So Ryan Murphy, who is the GOAT in terms of doing campy television, right? I mean, from Glee to American Horror Story, this is what the guy does. He does Feud, which I love Feud on FX. This is what he does. He does campy stories about real life people, and it's dramatic and soap opera-ish, and it's supposed to feel that way. So to me, when I watch it, and yeah, the brothers are ridiculous, but that's the fun part of the show. Then you have Chloe Sevigny, one of the most brilliant actresses of our time.
She's terrific.
And
I love her.
Oh,
she's
amazing.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And the dad is Javier Bardem.
Yeah, who's incredible.
Yeah. So you gotta watch it, but you gotta watch it. The subject matter's heavy, but you gotta watch it for the campy funness of a Ryan Murphy type show.
Can I ask you a question? I mean, you and I know each other pretty well. Why don't I like campy?
I your therapist?
I am. Yeah. I'm asking him. Listen, he is very insightful. Todd. I not only don't like campy, I freaking hate it. It like drives me. It makes me mad.
You struggle suspending disbelief in those situations. If it's campy or fake or the CG looks crappy, like the Roman show we were watching together, it takes you right out of it. And you know what? In a way, I understand it.
He likes some campy because to me, Kong is campy, and you love Kong.
I love Kong for what it is.
He's an ape man.
I'm not putting it up to. Yeah, but it's right because you have an ape going crazy, right? Like
it's strange.
Like it's Planet
climbing
of the
the
Apes.
Empire State Building.
Like that. I have to suspend disbelief, right? Yeah. But on something like the Menendez brothers, something that really happened.
I get you there.
I don't like that's where I shouldn't have to spend. Listen, I love to suspend disbelief for stuff that's fantastical, but not stuff that's based off of real life.
I think that's the difference. And this kind of stuff that Ryan Murphy does, like the OJ series, the Feud series, I mean, that's what he does. I mean, he's pretty brilliant. He's pretty brilliant. I mean, the new Grotesquerie series, which Travis Kelce is in. I mean, you know, do you like it, Andrew?
I just started watching it, and the only 2 episodes are out right now, and I actually really like it a lot.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to check it out because I'm a huge American Horror Story fan. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good series.
By the way, Ed Wright in the chat says Kong is a misunderstood ape.
Thank you, Eddie. As we know, TV Tide and I are both primate people.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm an ape guy, 100%. You know, the other movie that's coming out, that came out today, that's being pushed by a lot of marketing pieces is the new George Clooney, Brad Pitt movie called Wolves, and it's on Apple. And you know what, Anthony, you may like this because the storyline.
Cast, I love
I saw the trailer. It looks good.
Yeah, it's based on a real life Hollywood fixer, Paul Barisi. And, you know, he's classic fixer like Winston Wulf in Pulp Fiction or Ray Donovan or Michael Clayton. So the subject matter is these guys are 2 fixers and they both arrive at the same crime scene and they have to figure out their competitors and they have to figure it all out. So, you know, I'm sure it's going to be cheesy a little bit.
Like those 2, I'm a fan of those 2.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I am. You know, I love Brad Pitt. I'm like, I watch anything he does.
Burn After Reading is like one of my favorite movies of all time, and those 2 in it just kill it. So
they have great chemistry together. No, I'm in on those.
You can't argue. You can't argue with their filmmaking prowess too, right? I mean, you know, Clooney is a brilliant filmmaker, and Brad Pitt is a brilliant actor and producer.
Yeah.
So I think it could be decent. I don't know. I always get a little nervous when these things are pushed so heavy, but with marketing pieces, but we'll see. But I think the whole fixer element of it, the fact that it's based on the real life guy, Paul Barisi, and some of the things he's encountered, you know, which should be interesting.
Whether they do the Big Dom as the sequel.
Oh, man.
By the way, talking about sequels, I know we're going to get into this, because you and I have been talking, but, we're going to, when October hits us next week, you and I are going to start talking Halloween and horror movies every week for the whole month.
Yes, please.
Every week.
I'm pretty excited. About. You may remember this, but on your other show, I talked a lot about the Terrifier movies.
Yeah.
And
I love those movies, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk next week because the new one's coming out.
They're like they're filmed a chunk of them at the Fright Factory, the warehouse haunted house. When you go in there, they have all the Terrifier stuff. And there's a bunch of
Art the Clown.
I'm down to go now.
What I like about the Art the Clown character is they don't get into his backstory. There's no backstory on Art the Clown.
Let me ask you a question. Just as a little teaser to this. The creepiest, scariest setting. Is it rural, like the woods?
Totally the woods for me.
All right. I mean, think about settings that we've had. Like
small town woods, I'm out.
Middle Texas in rural.
Right. There's all kinds of different. What do you got, Todd?
I am 100% in on the small town, rural, country, middle of nowhere. That's where I get the most scared. VG, we talked last week about Speak No Evil. The thing that scared me about Speak No Evil was the isolation. The fact that they're in the middle of nowhere, the cell phones aren't working, there's no way to contact people. When I first moved from Philly to central Pennsylvania, I was scared to death out here because it's quiet, it's isolated, there's farmland. That scares me. Chainsaw Massacre stuff, Texas Chainsaw Massacre stuff.
Because I also think the maniacs are cool with the local sheriffs and cops, and they're all working together. They all know each other. I am out on that stuff.
Yeah, the creepy old rundown farm is terrifying.
People want to take road trips through small town. No way. I'll fly city to city, please.
Absolutely, and the best movies right now have that setting, like the trilogy X, Pearl and Maxine.
Yeah.
X is set in the exact setting you're talking about right now. And again, also in that setting, cuz I'll do another layer on it. What scares me are real people doing horrific things, not monsters or demons or whatever. Real creepy humans.
Spot on, man. Spot on.
One of my favorite
I'll give you another one. A foreign small town, like in Germany.
Well, you have a language problem too?
You're in Germany.
That's like Hostel.
In the Black Forest.
Yeah, Hostel.
Dude.
Or the human centipede? No way, man.
That's messed up, human centipede.
No, I'm out on
We could have a whole hour-long chat about human centipede. I believe Human Centipede 2. The second one was the creepiest one to me because think of the storyline. Some security guard who's a really deranged guy sees the first movie and decides he wants to do that. That could happen. That stuff could happen.
You're spot on, buddy. So weird. Spot on.
Hey, can I just have a picture of a movie that's coming out, a series? I'm all in on this. Diddy story. 50 Cent just sold to Netflix a documentary series called Did He Do It? I am in on this.
Yeah, but give me a biopic.
50 Cent on Twitter is a great follow. He's been talking about Diddy for years and years now. He's been on this.
Calls out.
Yeah, great title, right? And listen, if he's going to produce that, he better be bringing the materials, right? I mean, he better be bringing the inside, the footage, the receipts, all that stuff. If not, same old story we're hearing.
Yep.
Brother, great stuff as always. Can't wait. We will dive deep into horror this whole month. Look forward to it, pal.
I cannot wait. Hey guys, let's go Eagles.
Yeah.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. There he is. TV time. Yeah. All right. Let's
go Eagles.
Yes, violation time. If you can still hear us.
Yeah.
Don't say go Eagles.
Go
Say go Birds.
Been in Hershey too long.
Yes. He started laughing. All right, real quick. I need the Rite Aid back in the day moment.
Yeah, this is cathartic here. We need to relive the past and the sins of the past to get through this and move on. So this needs no explanation. You can just watch it, and this should bulletin board material.
54, Philly defense allowed the second fewest points in football behind Tampa Bay. Biggest play of the game right here. Johnson to Joe Jurevicius. He haunted the Eagles as a Giant. He haunts them on this day. 71 yards. Jurevicius playing with a heavy heart.
Levon Kirkland, Barry Gardner.
Ooh, great name, Barry Gardner.
No trot. No trot.
That's upsetting to watch.
That's what killed him.
There's like 6 Eagles around him, and they can't.
Oh, it was horrible.
Him.
And who was the safety who came from Tennessee? Oh my God!
Oh, what's his name?
Yes, Blaine Bishop.
Yeah, Blaine
Thank
Bishop.
you.
Nice pull, JP.
Nice pull, JP. Blaine Bishop. That was it. All right, let's go around the horn. Sunday. What happens? Big play of the game. What do you got, Frazier?
I'm on line with Fran on this one. I think weather's going to be big game, big deal. I think we're going to go low score. I think we're going to see like a 22-23 to like 17 game Eagles.
23-17 Eagles, JP.
27-23, another big Saquon Barkley game.
27-23 Birds.
The over numbers come down a bit. I'm going to go 20-13 Birds.
All right. I think it's going to be like 17-16 Tampa.
Ooh.
And then I think what's going to happen is they go on a 5-game winning streak after the bye.
I like it.
I don't like it because they're losing, but
I think
I like the win streak.
I think they're going to go on this win streak. I think they're going to get hot after the bye. They get everybody back, and they go on a run.
I like that.
And the 5th game is against the Cowboys, and they win. So that's kind of how I'm feeling.
So there's one nugget I want to bring out before as we go into Red October. I want to give it's like a Fishtown's garage. Garage in Fishtown has changed their wall to a mural.
I saw it.
They're in the middle of doing a new mural where they have basically what do they call them? The preschool.
The daycare.
The daycare. That's it. Boom, Stott, Marsh. So this should be finished this weekend. And props to them. I think it's really cool.
I love it. I love it.
First mural since Matisse Steibel, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Matisse Steibel.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you believe he got a mural here?
No, I don't understand that. TV Todd said he was going to say, "Let's go Flyers," and he got tripped up.
Oh, he got tripped up.
Yeah,
I get it.
Ed Ray says the only acceptable Go Eagle is the guy who got arrested. He said it while he's being arrested.
Oh my God.
Yeah. That's good, Eddie. That's going to do it for us, everybody. We love you guys. Thanks for having thanks for hanging out with us as always. Have an incredible weekend. Be safe. We love you. Go Birds. We'll see you Monday morning.
Go Eagles.